Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran, and I'm here with River Brown, Joel Dehls, and John Tortorelli. We are here after NBA Summer League is started. We're going to talk about NBA Summer League, some more NBA news like Wemby taking a pay cut, Kawhi Leonard's deal, not going through yet. He's not officially a Raptor just yet. He may not be a Raptor. And then we'll mix in some NFL talk. Fellas, how we doing? Brand new setup. Set some new things up.
Well, first of all, you're a freak, and you missed that. He had
the ass tooted
up shit was nuts. Mind you, we were all blasted. So, like, when he said that shit, bro, that took me to a whole different. Even John was over here crying, bro, because that was crazy.
That was a funny clip.
Yo, you've been here a lot last 2 months. You've been locked, bro. Yeah.
We love having you here, man.
We want you here all the time. We talk about you a lot.
All the time.
We really love you. We think about you.
You know, there was one thing when I wasn't here, after he pulled off my birthday, where he said all my friends were white. And you slide in the show. Like, people are like, damn. Do you have anything to say?
Wait, about what?
Maybe.
Like, my two close friends sitting next to you are both black.
Yeah.
And he just did.
It was AB and
Eli, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I guess I forgot they were there.
Yeah, because when we left, it was you and AB.
Yeah.
So he was the person you stayed with the entire night.
He was.
A lot, bro.
No, I really, because it was majority white guys though.
Yeah, no.
So I wasn't tweaking. He said
like
2 people, was like 7 of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's,
I mean, that's
wow.
With you, that's damn near 50% though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a group of 9 people, 3 black people, that's 33%.
Yeah, I guess because AB's like fake whitewashed, I think.
That's a higher percentage than the black U.S. population.
I really don't know why I said that, John.
You like to lie. You do it often.
I don't think I meant to. I don't know. I feel like when I said it, I believed it. And then when he was like, bro, AB was there, I was like, oh, right. Never mind. Like, I guess it was like that. So it was kind of like, John shit was cool, though. He just couldn't get drunk, unfortunately.
And then you saw Don Barlow.
Yeah, I see him all the time. Yeah, he's always there. He loves that place, man. I mean, it's cool.
Again?
We were at Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl River. It's a cool little place, for sure. I like the environment and whatnot. It's really cool. Been there like 5 times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
How you guys doing? How's your week?
We got a game tomorrow.
We do.
Are you excited?
We're talking about it.
Who's we?
Like nonstop in the show. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys are on the same team, right?
2 years in the making.
Am I starting tomorrow?
Are you starting tomorrow?
That's what I asked.
Probably.
Who puts Lime together?
I guess myself.
Oh, so if he doesn't put you in the starting lineup, that's fake crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at him different.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna look at him like, yo,
is there a reason why you would want him coming off the bench though?
There should be no
I haven't
reason.
seen half of our team play.
Okay.
Because some of them are his cousin's friends, and I play with his cousin. I play with Ruben. So I've played with 5 of us. 2 of my friends, 2 of his friends.
Okay.
So there's a few people in the team I just haven't seen play.
I got you.
Well, you've only not seen 2. You've seen me and KJ play.
So yeah.
Yeah, so it's just the other 2.
Have you guys won a championship yet?
Yeah.
He has.
Wow.
No Larry?
Hardware.
No Larry. No Larry.
We put together like a dream team last year.
Yeah. But I feel like, funny enough, like every league me and John have been in, I feel like our team always is the team that gives them the toughest problems. Like every time we play a regular season game, for the most part, it's close as hell.
This is your first year on the same team?
Yeah.
Was this like a draft? Like, how do you?
No, so it was a draft the first 2 seasons, and then this is what, season 4 or
5. It's 5, yeah.
So seasons, I guess 3, 4, and 5, you started like actually pick our own teams. But I mean,
no, I started at 2.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure 2 we drafted together.
No.
Yeah, upstairs inside.
I thought that was 1. Oh yeah, you're right.
And then 3 we drafted. So basically, we've played Rivs team almost every year in the playoffs, except last year because I don't know if you guys were.
We lost to Lewis team
in the first game. So we always would play them, and it would be like a 2-possession game. We're 2-0 against. We were 2-0, but now we're finally on the same squad. So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
How many people are in your league?
So it used to be like 6 teams. This year it's like 4 teams. Yeah. Okay. So they cut it down. And I kind of actually like it because the group of people from England we all know.
Yeah.
So even though it's smaller, it was very fun the first season when it was 4 teams. So.
Yeah.
So far, the last episode is at 489 likes. So 11 likes away from your one-on-one being released.
Yeah, this is like Steph and Harden right now. His record.
Oh, we're putting on the main YouTube.
How do you feel about you being Harden?
Yo, dude, no, he's Steph. I'm Harden.
Oh, are you saying that? Oh.
Bro, I don't think we beat them in the regular season either.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've beaten him yet.
I thought you were talking about the one-on-one.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about our teams in the men's league. Like, he's Steph, I'm Harden. I have nothing. He has all
11 more likes, and we're going to drop it on the YouTube.
I'm excited. We did that 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun.
Maybe
day.
2.5 now.
Yeah.
It was a
All
while ago.
information updated video.
Yeah, John has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Rivs has gotten a lot better too.
I know.
You guys got to run it back.
No. I have gotten washed. I have gotten washed.
It's falling off.
Yeah, I got bigger. I can't play at this style, man.
But do you have some more strength to you?
Yeah. But, like, I don't play with strength, you know?
You're a
All my whole
finesse
life,
guy.
I don't play with finesse and
But I
speed.
feel like you're someone who gets downhill.
Can't get there as fast as I used to.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Before we fully get into the show, there's a couple things. Number one, Call of Duty just dropped the ports on PlayStation for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. I've just played Black Ops 1 so far. I just unlocked the AUG. People call
Nice.
it the AUG. I'm going to call
it's
it
definitely
AUG.
the AUG.
Yeah, I like the
Definitely
AUG.
the
AUG sounds hard, too, though.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. I've been playing it. It's awesome. I'm a certified camper, bro. And so right now there's a bug though. If you invite people to your party and you guys go into a lobby, you guys aren't automatically granted to be on the same team.
No, that's annoying.
You might be on different teams.
That could be
So
fucked up. I don't know.
yes,
That
so
could be-
I've been in parties
That's
where it's
right.
like a
That'd
party
be
of
funny as hell.
5, and then it's like 3v2, 2v3.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Is that a
it's-
bug or they did it?
It's a bug.
Okay.
Maybe it's purposeful. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know, because it's always been, if you join with the party, you're on the
That'd
same
be kind of
team.
fire if that's
It
something
is
new.
interesting.
Yeah,
It
it
is
definitely
interesting.
creates a little loophole.
Black Ops 2 doesn't have that same problem, which is why I think it's a bug for Black Ops 1. I have played against my friends, and they hate the way I play because I am prone, camping, have the ghost on, in bushes, just waiting for people to pull up. I kill them, move on to the
You're a
next
sniper.
spot.
What's
Yeah,
your KD looking like?
My KD is 1.05.
Okay, calm.
Yeah.
If
it's
you're
good.
above a 1, like I'm very casual. So any given Call of Duty I play, if I have a positive KD, I'm taking that.
I had to get right because last night my KD was at a 0.88. Because I
Had
was
to lock
playing with some friends that are nice. I was easily the worst one in the lobby. So
They
when
have
they
skill-based matchmaking in Black Ops 1?
probably not. But the thing is that I got matched up with all the NPCs, and I was the best player on the team. I can't be the best player on the team because I don't rush. I'm not,
You're not
constantly
carrier.
putting
Yeah.
pressure on the opposing team.
Yeah.
I'm just camping, bro. Like I'll go happily in a game 13-3 if it means that I ain't dying like that. Like, I will be hiding the entire time, the most patient motherfucker in the lobby. So now my friend, he was dumb nice, bro. He had 60 kills in the lobby. And this one game, I went 20-42 because he was just
Deathmatch?
cooking me.
20 and
It was
42.
domination.
Oh, domination.
Cooking me, bro. Dogs, chopper gun. Bro, I turn a corner. I'm trying to camp. Like, I'm literally prone in my spawn. Motherfucker see me and started shooting. Bro, I'm cooked. So last night and then early today, I had to get my KD up and I had some good games. Like, I went 26-12.
Nice.
Just something light, you know.
Yeah.
Once I unlocked the Galil at level 20, that's when things changed. I put the
Okay,
suppressor
yeah.
on the Galil,
Galil's
sleight of
OP.
hand, and it just made me realize how much better games were back then just because they didn't feature transactions. Because in Call of Duty, the guns that you unlock, you have to unlock by leveling up, which is the same in the current Call of Duties. The difference is that in those Call of Duties, they have 3 perk spots. And for each perk spot, all you got to do is use currency that you earn within the game by playing the game and leveling up to unlock those things. Attachments for guns, camos, you unlock all of that stuff by in-game currency, with in-game currency. And then they even have contracts. Get 25 kills with the Galil to earn 500 Call of Duty points. And then you can use that towards things like kill streaks and attachments. And I felt like that for me has made the grind rewarding because I'm not putting money into the game. And it's like, man, I want to get more Call of Duty points to unlock this attachment on this gun. And the perks also are really smart, bro. Like, I forgot how much I missed Black Ops 1, bro.
Was that your biggest Call of Duty playing? Because mine was
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2. Black Ops 1, I definitely played a good amount, but MW2, I played probably like 3 times more.
My biggest one is Black Ops 1, and I know that a lot of people say Black Ops 2 is the best Black Ops. To me, it's 1, and that's why I've been playing it more.
Yeah.
I just love Black Ops 1.
I fell off after Black Ops 1. That was, I feel like, my last Call of Duty that I probably like prestiged in or something.
Nah, I love the guns in the game. I love the perks, like sleight
It's
of hand,
simple, too.
warlord. Exactly.
Like the new Call of I haven't played a Call of Duty in some years, but there's just so many different, like you could do X amount of like attachments or perks, and like there's certain like I don't know. It's shit as someone who comes in not playing. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. And obviously, you just learn as you go. But back in the day, it's like 1 attachment. You have bling, you get 2 attachments, 3 perks, the death streak in MW2. It's just simple and to the point. But maybe that's just me being an old head and not wanting to adapt.
Black Ops 1 is only 2 attachments at most, and you have to have the Warlord perk on to put 2 attachments on. So you really can only put 1 attachment.
I was like bling in MW2.
And there's a give and take, because if you got 2 attachments, Warlord is perk 2 along with sleight of hand. So you either choose to reload faster or you choose to have 2 attachments, but you can't do both.
Yeah.
So to me, like, a lot of the perks and stuff also made a lot of sense. And that game has been lit to play, bro.
Well, I remember when Black Ops 1 came out, because it was after MW2, they tried to take away as much like overpowered cheese stuff, because that's all MW2 was.
Yeah.
It was the stacking kill streaks. It was the noob tubing, the one-man army. All of the guns were OP. So Black Ops 1, I felt like they tried to bring it back down where, the perks, like you mentioned, like they weren't as overpowered. I think they got rid of stopping power, maybe. I don't remember. Was stopping power in Black Ops 1?
No.
They got rid of stopping power. There's just a lot of stuff they did to, in a sense, like nerf the game and make it like harder or not as easy to like just rack up kills because of kill streaks and all this like cheesy stuff.
It's also the movement too. In newer Call of Duties, I feel like the movement speed is mad fast, bro. Everybody just sprinting and running fast as hell.
Well, you can dive and jump and do all this.
And what I also don't like, bro, is I feel like this is just me, my play style, but in the modern Call of Duties, I don't feel like there's enough places to camp. Bro, in Black Ops 1, every corner, god damn, bro, there's multiple corners in maps that are the perfect hiding and camping spots. Bro, I was on Summit, you remember the map Summit?
Is it a snow map?
Yes, it's a snow map. Yeah. So basically on the right side of the map, if you start like on the other side of the map, there's like there's a building that you could go under, and there's some boxes, there's some crates on the right side and stuff.
Yeah, it sounds.
And there's
anything in that building. There's so many different spots.
There's another room as well that you're like hiding behind a crate, and you can just watch people pull up. Bro, I'll be hiding behind that crate, watching people, killing them. Then I'll be moving to the crates on the back, and I'll be on the top, just posted. And they be pulling up, looking at the box that I was just in. They don't be finding me, and then I'll be killing them. Yo, my man was on the other team. He was like, yo, fuck, man, this motherfucker's a camper. He didn't know that it was me the entire time. I'm like, motherfucker, that was me. I just camping, bro. I'm shameless. But it's like, why would I put myself in position to die, though?
Yeah.
Because I know if I rush, I'm gonna die.
Boring. Most people can't sit there. That's why these Call of Duties are like that too, because they're trying to cater to the brain everyone has now. Where like action. I don't ever want to wait in Call of Duty. I might camp, bro. If I stay in the same spot for like more than 10 or 15 seconds, nobody comes, I'm moving, bro. Like I'm looking for something.
You gotta be patient.
Looking
man.
for danger.
I'll be there. Bro. I'll be there for a minute. Once I'm there for like a minute and I'm like, nobody's coming. Okay, let me try to push up a little bit.
Okay,
I'll move like 10 feet. Like I'm not moving that much, but I know if I rush, I'm getting bodied. Like that's not my play style.
Especially on a map like Summit.
Yes.
The one game that I'd actually camp in, because you kind of have to, is Siege. Like you would just
Rainbow
have to,
Siege?
You would have to be patient in that, especially if you're on defense. So
I'm ass. I'm the nigga you go find to get the points off of. I'm terrible.
You never like a multiplayer Call of Duty guy?
No, I was. Like when me and my brother and my cousin used to play, I used to be decent, but then like as the games got better, I got worse. Like I'm the dude you clown in the party. Like this nigga's garbage.
Yeah,
like,
you just went 2 and 15.
like I'm that guy. Like I'm really in there just for laughs and giggles, bro. Like I ain't even in there to play for real.
Yeah.
And I've been having a blast, bro. And I haven't even played zombies yet. And I've been having a lot of fun.
I'm definitely zombies over multiplayer.
Yeah, for sure.
Zombies is so
fun. Zombies is so fun. I be dying in there too. You gotta revive me like 10 times. I be in there like, come get me.
Have you seen unless you want to get to that, but 2 of the other things going on in gaming right now?
What's going on?
We have PlayStation saying that they're going to stop physical games in 2028.
Yeah.
That's been an uproar, which I think valid. And the CFB controversy, the microtransaction that's been in Dynasty and Road to Glory, they finally responded, I think yesterday wasn't, and said they're going to take it back. But I'm somebody who I didn't buy the new college football or Madden for that matter. And even though I have basically all digital games now, I don't want to go all digital because then they control everything, bro. Like if you try to get, and it doesn't happen all the time. I was actually looking the other day because I wanted to, I saw GTA 4 was on Xbox for like $20. I was like, oh, say less. And I was like, let me just check Amazon. Maybe it's like 10 or something. But it was even more expensive. But more often than not, you're able to find it on Amazon or like a third party, Walmart or something for like
You
half
can do
of
that
they're
digitally
charging
too,
you.
though.
Huh?
You could buy it on Walmart digitally.
I guess that's true. I guess the thing about that.
But I don't know if it would be cheaper though.
Yeah. But even still, like if it's just all digital, like
That's
who's to say
annoying.
Xbox? Like, nah, just buy it on Xbox.
And then how
Don't
much
buy it on
storage do
Walmart.
I need to have all them shits up? Like, you gotta delete all that. Like,
Yeah,
Now,
bro, I
you
have a terabyte. Like I have the X. I have a terabyte. It's just like 8 games, bro. Like that shit sucks.
I got 6 games up right now.
Yeah.
Nah,
Six
for real,
games up.
that's
So I'm-
really how it be.
College garbage. Oh my god, CFB so bad, so bad. I hate that.
What'd
game.
you think of? Have you been playing the Dynasty? Have you seen all of this microtransaction?
I haven't played
shit?
it because I've seen all that stuff. Like
Okay.
I've seen people complain about it, so I haven't touched it yet. But yeah, I got that. I got Resident Evil, Black Ops 1 up, WWE, Madden, 2K. Yeah, those are the 6 games I got up right now.
That's all I played my entire life. It's basketball game, football game, shooting game, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Wrestling games.
Maybe
for
yeah,
sure.
wrestling game. Maybe
Those-
It's
something
also
else
just
that's
crazy
miscellaneous.
how
Yeah.
big these game files are, bro. GTA 4 was like 18 gigs, bro.
No,
I
yo,
downloaded it.
I'ma
Downloaded
have-
in like 10 minutes.
I'm gonna have to delete that so much. You know the game I'll be playing on my computer?
Yeah, like
Age
the
of
war game.
Empire?
Yeah, yes, I play that on Madden, PS5.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I
no,
love playing
the
that shit.
physical media is dying. And it's unfortunate, but I feel like that's the pathway that every single company's trying to go into
Yeah.
because, you know, it takes more money to produce something that's physical, especially if you have, like, for example, a game like GTA, that is probably going to be like 150 gigabytes, if not more.
6, you're saying?
Yeah.
bro. It's probably.
How do you fit that into a disc? How do you fit that much storage into
That
that?
shit's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy.
But the problem with it is that if everything is digital, there's only one marketplace to buy games and they monopolize it. So then, you know, you're not even getting games at a discount. You're not getting bargains. That's why PlayStation Plus is worth it, though. A lot of games I feel like I could get for free or at
Yeah,
least
like
at a
Game
big
Pass.
discount.
Game Pass for Xbox is the same way. I canceled my Game Pass probably like 5 months ago at this point because I don't play Xbox enough. But if you're someone who games, it's so worth it. Like 15, 20 bucks a month and you get this library of games that you could just play whatever. It comes with like on Xbox, like the EA Pass, so you get all of the CFB and old Maddens for free when you get discounts on the new ones. So if I was a gamer, I think it's a really good time to be playing.
With college football, the problem that people had with it, the microtransactions in the game, it was the fact that it was in dynasty mode.
It was offline.
It was an offline game mode that you snuck in microtransactions into and you didn't tell your community. Everybody that went to go play college football 27 for the first time, EA did not tell them anything. So when the game dropped, they were surprised by these microtransactions in it, and it led to an uproar. I don't mind microtransactions being in the game because it's another way for these companies to make revenue, although EA is
what
ass.
is microtransaction?
It's
Like-
basically money that you spend
VC.
to get things in the game,
Oh shit,
Yes.
that's terrible.
basically. So
Especially offline too. The fuck?
exactly. So the thing is with microtransactions, you put it in certain game modes. Like, you know that if you play Ultimate Team, it is heavily driven by
Yeah.
microtransactions, or you play some form of My Career for 2K, you get VC to upgrade your player. But there are some game modes that just should not require it whatsoever. And you should just have a reward currency system in game instead of having people pay real money. I was playing NBA 2K14 last month, and in order to get certain badges for your MyGM, like the ability to influence a trade, you had to spend VC on it, but you had to grind the game mode and earn that VC by winning a championship or making the playoffs or making your owner happy. And you consistently went into meetings and it told you like what you needed to do and goals, and based on those goals you earn VC, and you earn VC for games. So you use that to upgrade your GM so you have more influence over contracts, over trades, things of that nature. But just sneaking in microtransactions and just an offline game mode for people to pay for it's just insane, bro.
Well, the worst part about it was they slowed down progression on, I don't know if it was on Road to Glory 2, but definitely Dynasty. So you just couldn't level up your coach fast enough, and you couldn't unlock, the different skills that they have in the skill tree. So even if you grinded, you weren't able to like max out your coach. The only way you would do that is if you bought, the skill points or whatever to unlock all of it. So
Wow.
I wouldn't even listen if they put microtransactions in Dynasty and maybe they don't, maybe it's there, but they're not required. I feel like that's one thing. But to take it a step further and make it impossible to get like the full experience unless you pay more is crazy. I mean, good on them for listening to the community and fixing it. But the fact they did it in the first place is crazy.
My take on gaming is that it was just better back then.
It was. Bro.
I know people like
Simple.
to call
Nostalgia.
us boomers or that's an old head take.
We are
No,
old.
I
He's
think,
almost 30.
I think
I
games
am
were just
almost
better
30.
back then. I think the gaming experience was better. And I think that companies knew that they had to earn your money. So they put everything they possibly could into games to make it the best possible. Where now you could skimp out on it because you know you're going to earn so much more with microtransactions.
Was 2K the first one to really get it popping, right?
It really was.
VC, yeah.
I think that the game that took it over the top though was Fortnite.
Yeah,
I think Fortnite, it was like free to play, but hey, you want to buy these skins, $20.
Yeah.
So that I think took it to the moon to where people were like, wait, this game is free and they're making billions. Like,
Yeah.
bro, they're making mad money.
The difference with Fortnite is that it was more aesthetic based than actually performance, whereas
Yeah.
with 2K or another one of these games, it's performance. It's giving you a competitive advantage. So I didn't mind it, but like you said, the amount of people that would spend hundreds on Fortnite, I mean, that's what created such a crazy profit.
What also happened with Fortnite is if you had the generic skin on, you'd get clowns. Like if you had it on, people are flaming you for it, so you almost felt forced for it.
Yeah,
if you were
bro.
nice though and you were wearing the default
Yeah,
skin,
yeah,
though,
yeah.
Yeah, like I earned my John Wick. I earned that John Wick through the battle pass. I had that, so they knew when I walked around and I was the guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. The battle pass that lets you unlock shit.
But sometimes they have caught me though. I've bought a Patrick Mahomes skin, and I I have a Mahomes skin, and I have a Goku skin as well. They
Fire.
got me with Goku, bro. Goku, that motherfucker. I remember when they first released a Goku skin, they had a Kamehameha that you could pick up and just hit people with
Fire.
it. On
Wait,
Fortnite.
hold on. The Mahomes skin. It looks like Mahomes.
Oh,
like
it looks exactly like Mahomes.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
he doesn't have a jersey.
Does he have like an emote or something? It's just like okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's just the flex. Yeah, he's wearing his Adidas and stuff.
Fucking
yeah.
dork.
Nah, I got Patrick Mahomes. I seen that shit. I'm like, yo, I'm buying that shit instantly.
Oh
All
my
right, let's
God.
open up these sneakers.
Let's open up these Kobe's, man. Let's do it.
These are let me see. These are Kobe 4 Protos. The allure with these is that it's random. So opening up this box, I don't know what shoe I'm gonna get. It could be
He
anything.
do the shit.
It's I'm hoping I get the Lakers shoe because there's only an 8% chance to get them.
Here we go.
So let's see.
Hey, 8%. Somebody got to win, right? Come on, man. It is a
Yeah.
beautiful bag.
So okay, this is the pack right here. If you see, Kobe Draft Day.
Draft day. Johnny Manziel.
Let's see. I told you guys I didn't open it yet.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, I might need scissors for this.
Okay. It's probably that shit's probably loud next to the mic, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That shit's probably mad loud.
Should be
next to
a
the
side
mic.
you could,
I
and on the
just,
side you could put.
I just bit it.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's just
Okay.
okay.
Okay, okay.
Those is cute.
It's tough.
I like those. Those ain't what you wanted.
Yeah. You can tell on his face.
He was
Hey,
not
but
feeling
I
it.
was like, yo, listen, worst case scenario, I get a white shoe. I don't know who this is. I think this might be the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken. It's red, so I don't know. They tell you like what team shoe you got. So yeah, these are the Kobe's, man.
Nice.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it says
What a
okay,
reaction.
13 Kobe Bryant here on the tongue. Nice little 24 on the back. Kobe signature right here.
Those are clean, huh?
Nah, these are tough, man. These
Yeah.
are tough. I like
What a
them.
reaction.
Unfortunate. We ain't get the one. Maybe these are the Raptors, bro. Because that's why it would be red and purple.
It's just
Well,
different.
it's purple. Yeah.
Where's the purple?
And
On the back.
Yeah.
Has-
Oh, it could be
there's-
purple just because Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 8 and 24 on the
You got
back.
purple laces.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, that's why I'm thinking it might be the Raptors because there's purple laces here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says here
Let's look it up.
1996 draft.
Look it
Yeah,
up.
search up Kobe 4's draft day pack.
So each shoe was just like a different team.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the one that was the rarest to get was the Lakers one,
Yeah.
and that one is just yellow and purple. Well,
Okay.
gold and purple, not
Yeah,
yellow
yeah,
and
yeah.
purple. But yeah, these are nice. I like them. They're not bad. I mean, worst case scenario, you just got white shoes.
Yeah. No, they're nice.
Nah, they are nice. I like them.
What does it say?
Looking right now.
Ooh, the carbon fiber on the bottom.
Now you're just gassing it, bro.
Nah, bro. Yo, I used to watch sneaker reviews, and that's how they be like, yeah, these Jordan 11
fiber.
Concords, you got the carbon fiber on the bottom. You don't understand how big of a thing these are, the sneaker community.
Yeah.
This carbon fiber on
That's
the bottom.
a fucking black box to me, bro. The sneaker community. It's a whole different world.
Nah, for real. Shit.
Okay, it's like not telling me.
Okay. So it could be Clippers. It could be Toronto. I mean, it's red. It could be. Why can't it be like
No,
the fucking
those aren't the
Hawks?
Clippers.
Okay.
The Clippers ones are blue.
Okay.
So those might be the Raptors one.
Yeah, it's Raptors.
Raptors.
Or Sixers.
Oh.
So I'm on an Instagram post by Nice Kicks, and it lists the Sixers in the first page and then the Raptors in the second. But the first page is the pick of Kobe on draft night. So I believe that's Philly.
Yep.
No, I can't.
Those
read.
are Toronto
It's
Raptors.
Toronto,
You know, I assume so. I forgot who they picked in that draft. The Raptors.
Maurice Peterson.
Was it Vince Carter?
No.
He wasn't.
He wasn't in that draft in the 96 draft? Yeah, maybe it
Let's
might have
find
been
out.
him.
Well, that was the Iverson draft. Was Marcus Camby
For the Raptors.
in '96?
Might have been, yeah. He might be right, but let's
Yeah, they were actually going to get the first overall pick in that draft. They would have gone Allen Iverson the year after Damon Stoudemire won Rookie of the Year, but there was a rule after the Magic that you couldn't get the number 1 overall pick within your first 3 years of the franchise. So then they got the next possible selection, which was 2, and they got Marcus Camby out of UMass, and he was ridiculous. In
Yeah, bro,
college.
you talked so fast just now. That was crazy. That was
I don't think
impressive.
it was that fast.
That was
It really
impressive.
it wasn't that.
Nah,
bad.
I thought it was
he
relatively
moving,
normal.
bro.
It was what how he normally
Yeah.
talks.
Nah, you was moving. It was impressive, bro. Like, and you did no stutters.
Nah, those are tough though. These are tough though. I ain't mad. It's just when you
Nah,
hope
you're
to just get the
devastated.
Lakers colors, but these are tough too. Toronto Raptors, great.
I didn't know that they had a rule that first 3 years you can't get number 1 pick.
That was after Orlando.
Okay.
And they jetpacked to the finals after they got Penny because they had originally gotten Weber, and the year before that they got Shaq, and they signed Horace Grant. They had an insane team that year.
Got swept.
Can't win them all.
Nick Anderson's 3 throws, if he hit him, might have
Yeah.
been a different story.
Changed his whole career.
It really did. 'Cause
That was a
after that,
downfall.
Yeah, he was pretty
his
good too.
confidence was shook
Yeah,
a
he
little.
was pretty good.
He was really good.
Penny, man, what a guy.
There really hasn't been much to talk about with the NBA outside of just summer league. So we'll start there.
Question: whoa, did anybody watch Jason Tatum's interview about Jaylen Brown?
No, and actually, let's start there
Here we
because Dehls
I know
hasn't
you
been on the
watched it.
podcast to talk about the
Good
Celtics
Morning
just yet.
America?
I think it was Good Morning America.
So
Yeah, we're gonna
just
start.
how do you feel about the trade?
It feels so long ago at this point, honestly.
Are you healed yet?
I'm definitely at acceptance now.
Okay.
You know what
Okay,
I mean? Through
okay.
the 7 stages of depression or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
is.
What
I'm-
was worse, Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown getting traded?
Jaylen Brown for sure. Jaylen Brown for sure.
When you fell
Marcus
down
Smart,
with Marcus
Nah,
Smart.
he felt
No, I
his knees for
did.
sure.
I was on the toilet when Jaylen Brown got traded, bro. I said,
So you
"What
couldn't
the
felt.
fuck?" I couldn't believe it. No, I've definitely accepted it at this point for what it is. My emotions, honestly, were similar to the Sauce trade when we traded Sauce for the 2 first, and I was like, "What the fuck did we just do?" And I thought it was terrible. I still don't love the Jaylen Brown trade, but over time, I think you start to force yourself to see the positive on what could the other side be. It's a bold move. It's very easy for organizations just to, especially you won a championship 2 years ago, just be like, we're going to keep the nucleus. We're going to keep the nucleus. Like, we're just going to try to fix it. But I've said on this podcast numerous times, you can't take away the 24 chip. You never can. But every other year under Missoula has been a bit of disaster in terms of how it's ended, right? When you go back to down 0-3 to the Heat, 20-point leads to the Knicks, 3-1 to Philly, just disaster. And Missoula has a part in that. Tatum has a part in that. Derek White has a part in that. Like, all of these dudes, you don't win or lose just because of Jaylen Brown. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's a team game. It comes down to the coaching staff, comes down to the players, comes down to the front office, to putting the guys in a position to win. It's a team thing. But I do think, in a weird way, the package the Celtics got for him almost justifies the move. Because there weren't teams out there looking at Jaylen Brown like you were going to get 4 or 5 first-round picks for him. Right? That was originally what they wanted. They wanted all these unprotected picks. They wanted young players. But the deal they ended up accepting, which had to be the best one because obviously why wouldn't you accept it? And number 2, you're sending him to Philly. It almost feels like you have to get a little extra, 2 extra seconds to send him to Philly because we're giving him to a rival. The fact that the best offer was just 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and Paul George, who was looked at as one of the worst contracts in the NBA, kind of tells you how Jaylen Brown is viewed. And it's not Jaylen Brown the player, it's just Jaylen Brown the player plus the contract. If Jaylen Brown was making, $40 million, he was taking up 25% of the cap, it's a whole different discussion. But we've seen every team and every champion do this, whether it's Denver, Celtics, Thunder, New York now. Every single team has won the championship in the last 4 years. Maybe it's not the number 2 player like Jaylen Brown, but they've had to make moves to get out of the second apron. They've had to make moves, whether it's role players, leaving them in free agency or trading them for like some draft picks like the Thunder have been doing recently. They've had to make these moves to stay out of the second apron, to give themselves the flexibility, especially when you have a good roster and you have to pay a lot of other guys. So I think part of it was 3 out of the last 4 years has been a disaster. What do we do to dramatically shape up this team? Because we don't think we're going to be able to put together a team as good as the 24 Celtics with all the talent that they had. And the other part of it was we just have to keep this team open. We know the floor we have. We just saw it with Jaylen Brown last year. I think Tatum's a better player, and I think on paper the roster is better right now than it was the beginning of last season. And we just saw them be a 2 seed and be a game away from advancing to the second round. So if you had that with Jaylen Brown, in theory, Tatum plays 65, 70 games, you should have similar-ish outcomes. I think the caveat to there is the East is so much better. You know what I mean? Like, you're going in, we've talked about it at length just how good the East is, especially assuming Kawhi is going to be a Toronto Raptor. There's 5, 6, 7 teams, even the teams that have been whack in years past, like the Wizards, feel like they're going to be really competitive. So we don't know, in terms of the opponents last year where the East was a bit weaker compared to this year. And also last year, Boston struggled against top teams. That was the one thing Brad said at the end of the season press conference was, I know we aren't good enough because not only did we blow a 3-1 lead, but look at us in the regular season. Against the top 4 or 5 teams in the NBA, they had a below 500 record. So there's a lot that goes into it. I said it months ago that, at the end of the day, I trust Brad Stevens. It was at the time we were talking about the Giannis trade because I was like, I don't know, Giannis, this is before they blew a 3-1 lead. It's give up all these role players. But in the time I said, I feel like you just got to trust what Brad's decision is. And that's kind of where I landed on it. It hurts to see him go to Philly more than anything. If he went to Portland, it would hurt a lot less because I could root for him over there. And you know what I mean? Be able to watch him and not feel some type of pain. But the fact that he's going to Philly, that's honestly the worst part. Trading Jaylen Brown sucks. Seeing him on the 76ers is even worse.
The issue is that they felt determined to trade him. And you made a good point that paying Jaylen Brown 35% max along Tatum, it restricts your flexibility, but what gets lost in this entire puzzle is that they still weren't a second apron team. With Jaylen Brown, they're at 215. The second apron's 221. And I feel in today's NBA, well, for some teams, the second apron is pertinent because a lot of owners won't be willing to pay. We've seen a shift in how people discuss these trades because they just say, oh, the second apron is the issue here. But in reality, for Boston, it really was them choosing to focus around Tatum. And in the process, they take on one of the worst contracts in the NBA in Paul George, who's making almost the same exact money for this year and next year. And that's where the issue comes in for me because, and we said this in the last show, Paul George fits your team extremely well. But from an asset perspective, it just made a lot more sense to hold on to Tatum for that, to hold on to Jaylen Brown with Tatum and be able to still have Derek White with Payton Pritchard. If you sign Mitchell Robinson, you're at this 214 benchmark. And it does seem like their new ownership group is not willing to go into that if they were to add somebody else, of course. But it just felt like a move where Boston was so hell-bent on making it happen. And that was where the issue lied for me.
Let me ask you a question.
Yo, Paul George.
No.
Okay.
I would never.
It's been a minute since you've rooted for Paul George anyway.
Let me ask you a question, John. You say the second apron in this moment doesn't matter for them, correct?
Well, they don't want to go over the second apron, but even after signing Mitchell Robinson, they weren't a second apron squad.
And you feel like they could have held on to Jaylen Brown a little bit longer, correct?
Absolutely.
So my question, I just wanted to make sure I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So my question to you is, do you think in 2 years when Jaylen Brown is due for an extension, they were going to extend him and give him $65 million?
Not even in 2 years. He was due for an extension this summer.
Oh, perfect.
And a lot of reports out there were saying if Boston gave him the 2-year, $145 million extension, he'd be cool. He'd come back. We're good.
$70 million.
And now you have Jaylen Brown under contract for 5 seasons. at 60 whatever $1 million per year, it's an untradeable contract.
So, and if your answer is no to my question, that means that you feel like eventually they were going to trade Jaylen Brown anyways, and we get the package may look a little nasty because Paul George should not be making $55 million in the big 2026. But he's a good player. He does fit with them. It's just that contract. You give that to a superstar level player. So, this is obviously, in hindsight, less talent you're bringing in, but you do get to first round picks. Eventually, you were going to trade him because they were not going to give him $70 million. And like you mentioned, and we were just in uproar about the Donovan Mitchell trade. I don't think nobody in here thinks that, Jaylen Brown was going to deserve that type of money either. So that's where I'm at, where I can understand it, where Jaylen Brown is a much, much, much better player than Paul George in today's game. But is he that player that you're okay allocating that amount of money to? I think that's the tricky part.
I would try to negotiate a little bit lower. This is something that Cleveland wasn't able to do with Donovan Mitchell, of course, with him getting the full 35%. If you can get him at a lower number, like 32%. And if you aren't able to, in a year from now, if the Celtics are able to go on a deep playoff run, the idea is that, one, Jaylen Brown's value could increase on this new contract, and you would have an easier time because there'd be more suitors. Why? Because you want to be deeper in the offseason. Ideally, some teams have a little more cap space, and they would be maybe more willing to add a few more assets. And I also, like you highlighted, wouldn't be willing. I wouldn't have the appetite to trade him to one of my biggest rivals.
But you think
follow-up question.
Well, hold on. Dehls, you think his value goes up even
With
though they
a
go on a
deep
run?
Playoff run.
Because he just averaged 27 a game. They were a number 2 seed. And they did blow 3-1 lead. But his value...
Theoretically, it should be as high as ever because he's coming off the best year of his career.
Yeah, his value was in the mud, it feels
like.
like.
If the Celtics were to win a championship,
Yeah.
the theory of that is that, okay, if there's more teams that have money to spend, and they're looking at Jaylen Brown saying...
Are you going to trade Jaylen Brown after a championship? Like, if you win 2 in 3 years, now you can't trade him.
In this world we're living in, Brad Stevens doesn't see them as a realistic team that can go running back with this current iteration. The other thing, too, is that this year they're actually at 101 million, or 201, excuse me. And then next year, when the Cada contract extension kicks in, then they would have been at 214 million. So even with that extension starting next year, they still would have been under it. To me, I just would have tried to have negotiated and said, we'd love to have you at a slightly lower number. And if he wasn't willing to accept that, because it didn't seem like by any of the reporting, Jaylen Brown asked to get traded. He didn't.
But
he probably would want the 35%. And if that were the scenario where he wouldn't be willing to take less,
See,
a lot of these other teams would not be able to give him the same contract.
Year.
A lot of these other teams would not be able to give him the same amount of money that Boston could,
That's
especially with him being at the 10-year mark. We're able to make a little bit more, right? So if we're able to pay him more and he still doesn't want to stay, then ideally, I think the theory to me would be I would wait another year so that him and Tatum could have a full season together.
That's
and
a
see
gamble.
where it lands.
But what happens? What
it's
happens?
A bigger gamble to do this.
What happens when you go into these negotiations this summer, right? And you try to negotiate down. We're not doing 35% of the cap, and he said no. I want the super whatever max, and you say no.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's become okay. Trade me. Now Jaylen Brown goes out there. I'm already in trade rumors. I've been talked about nonstop for the past 2 months. Now you're not going to give me my contract. Cool. I want out.
Got 2 more years left in this contract,
Yeah.
so he wouldn't be a flight risk just yet. And I would point to the Knicks, who just won a championship, with Jalen Brunson taking an extension a year early, and Victor Wembanyama, who signed an extension for a 30% max. And if the Finals MVP and the best player in the world to many are taking a pay cut, so
Players
that
don't think like that.
Well, we just saw 2 players.
Well, no, I'm saying like a
both
player
were in
like
the
Jaylen
finals.
Brown, 29 years old, 27 a game, Finals MVP. He's not thinking.
Well, players are starting to think that way because we just saw Victor Wembanyama lose to
Wemby,
Jalen Brunson in the finals.
Wemby is a
and say,
little
"You know
different.
what?
Wemby, like his
I
mentality
want
is
to
a
have
little
better
different.
supporting cast around me because that 5% boost isn't in their
Don't you
eyes.
think
More,
they're the outliers?
Well,
we'll
Wemby,
see.
Donovan
We'll
Mitchell
see how
damn
this
sure didn't
happens.
say I'll take less.
Wemby's gonna have another chance to make 350.
He's going to make
Jaylen
$1
Brown is
billion
not
off the
gonna have
court.
another
We've
chance to make
seen
this money again.
in the past, and I feel for a lot of these athletes that in Jaylen Brown's case has already won a championship. Maybe it's a little bit different. But if your
I don't
priority
know.
is winning over getting that extra
Oh, no, I'm with
5%,
you.
we've seen athletes start to value that more.
We've
and more.
seen
And
Melo
I
take
believe
the
that-
money over the winning.
I believe that Jalen Brunson set a precedent that some players will follow.
I feel like he's an outlier.
Listen, I wish every player in Boston was like Jalen Brunson, but every player is going to be
It's more
like
often
Donovan
than not
Mitchell and
this
Trae
is-
Young.
yeah.
Back
they're gonna
of
take the money.
Dynasties, Riv, is built on the best contracts in the NBA. Scottie Pippen, Steph
He got
Curry.
finessed. That
They
wasn't.
got finessed.
He got finessed,
Correct.
bro. You
But
think
to-
he wanted his
no,
money, bro?
This is not apples to apples comparison with
I see
Jalen
you're
Brown
cheating.
making $300 million and Scottie Pippen being on one of the most, if not the most undervalued contract in NBA history.
He had the
right?
worst manager
But
in NBA history also.
Those moves on the margins, though that is more extreme, or what allows you to build a more sustainable supporting cast to win multiple championships, not one.
I'm not with you. You think the Joker's gonna take a pay cut next summer?
Well,
No.
I believe he's seeing pressure
No.
on
You
Denver.
think the Joker's gonna take a pay cut?
We'll see what
Why
happens.
are you thinking? You know he's not, bro. He's gonna take that money.
I'm
Did
tired
Devin
of
Booker take a
acting-
pay cut?
Not.
There's more examples of players that straight up just are going to take all the money that they can. I'm tired of acting like this is a bad trade for Boston, and I'm tired of acting
Here we
like
go.
this
Here we go.
isn't
Good
a
Good job.
good deal.
Sicko,
It's a good
bro.
trade, actually.
You're such a sicko.
With all the talk that people have been having around this trade, acting as if Jaylen Brown changes something for the Sixers. The Sixers are still not a contender. The Sixers don't have a bench, and just because you got Jaylen Brown doesn't mean that Joel Embiid magically is going to
don't
be
think it's
healthy. Tyrese Maxey
They're a
off the
contender
ball.
for him is
They're a
crazy.
contender.
Tyrese Maxey off the ball. I think he'd be great. Who's passing it to him? Jaylen Brown, for every assist he gets a turnover. VJ Edgecombe is not going to be the lead initiator. Joel Embiid is not going to be healthy enough in the regular season to have chemistry with these guys. They are praying and hoping, Sixers fans are, that LeBron James comes walking through that building.
Yeah.
Because if he does not sign there, the Sixers are cooked. They don't have a true championship contending roster, and I'd argue the Celtics are better than them. They're a more well-rounded team. Every player understands their roles better, and you trust that they can be durable.
Yes, you can.
This
I
entire
don't know if we're 3-1 lead to
trade
them. I don't know.
was about making sure two players aren't making 70% of the cap, which is what would have happened if Jaylen Brown stayed. If you look at the past 10 NBA champions, I won't go team by team. I'll just mention a percentage. I'll start from 2026. So the Knicks, then going down. 60%, 47%, 54%, 52%, 74%. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson 2022 with the Warriors, outlier. Then Middleton and Giannis, 55%. LeBron and AD, 59%. Lowry and Gasol, 56%. Curry and KD, 60%. Kevin Durant and Klay, 46%. Even the best team that we saw assembled in the history of the league did not account for 70% of the cap just within two players. It was still 60%, which means that teams that win with two players making 70% of the cap, that is an outlier. And that is why Brad Stevens made this deal, because they will not win a championship and be able to build a well-rounded team with two players making that amount of money. That is one. And with Paul George, I know that he's making a lot of money, but you have to think about it from a long-term perspective. Paul George's contract next season becomes a very tradable contract. On an expiring, the Celtics have multiple draft picks they can attach
60
to
mil,
that
though.
contract.
If you get anybody.
Yeah, allegedly.
Exactly. With Paul George's deal, you could, in theory, acquire multiple players by trading him with picks. Who knows what the package can be, but you are able to get off a big contract a year earlier, and now you completely build this team around Jason Tatum. And Jason Tatum is a player that's great enough to have a team completely built around him and for him to be the sole person. I think this upcoming season is going to be the best of Tatum's career. I think he's going to have a real chance to win MVP with an uptick in usage. And to me, I don't think Boston did any wrong in this deal. I think that they will be better than the Sixers, not only in the short term this upcoming season, but long term for years to come.
Well, you see I'm sure you guys seen the usage rate stat for Tatum.
Yeah.
Part of me, like, you always take everything with a grain of salt, but it is like a 45 game sample of him having a 33% plus usage rate, and they win 90% of the games. So I don't think going into next season saying we want Tatum, to be this high usage guy, especially with the way fucking Derek White played last season.
I think he'll get back to play, though.
Yeah, I think
Because
he
he'll
should.
be off the ball.
He
more.
should, but I think you go into next season with that in mind. Like you said, we've seen this in the past, right? When Tatum is the lead guy, when he's the lead distributor, when he was on the court, your offense, your team overall is just going to be playing better compared to Jaylen Brown. That's no slight at Jaylen Brown. It's just out of the two players, Tatum's the one that's more complete. He's the one that's a better playmaker. He's a better all-around defender. So it's tough to see it go, because I think the one thing that they'll miss the most is just the shot creation you get from Jaylen Brown. You saw it in whatever it was, game 2 or game 3 in the NBA Finals, where shit starts getting wicked. You had like this 18-point lead. It gets cut down to 2 with a minute left. Jaylen Brown sizes up whatever, PJ Washington, whoever it was, hits this tough midi, and it's like, shit, it wasn't going right for Tatum in the second half of that game, and Jaylen Brown was the one who stepped up. Now you're looking around like, okay, we know Tatum could have these halves, he could have these quarters, where all of a sudden shit's like selling for jumpers, tough shots, is not going through. Who's going to be that guy to step up next to him, right? I think when you're talking just high level playoff basketball, when you're facing the best of the best, that's where you're going to miss Jaylen Brown the most. But there has been a lot of, I don't know what's the word for it, hype. I think a bit of delusion potentially with Payton Pritchard in Celtics land. He has a lot of nice advanced numbers. You know, he's someone who obviously doesn't start very often. But there's a lot of, I almost want to say, delusion about who Payton Pritchard could be, because I've seen Jalen Brunson comps, and I love Payton Pritchard to death. I don't think he's gonna be fucking Jalen Brunson. But I think what you're banking on is he's somebody that takes care of the ball. He has like a 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He's been very efficient throughout his career, and we have seen when his usage does tick up, he can be a guy that, you know, over a couple game stretch can give you like an 18 to 20 a night kind of run. So I think, you know, this whole Missoula thing, possession maxing, the Mitchell Robinson rebounds, the turnover all of this shit that you've been hearing goes into trading Jaylen Brown and giving some opportunities to other guys.
It is true that the Celtics, they are going to play more of their style with Paul George. Jaylen Brown was necessary for the Celtics. He was a good change of pace player for what they do, where they're a heavy 3-point rate team. Jaylen Brown was the mix-up. He was the guy who was able to get a bucket in the mid-range, and it was a nice just contrast to what they usually do. With Paul George, they're going to be more reliant on three-point shooting than ever. But the good thing is that Paul George, one thing he is right now is almost 50% of his shots are from three.
3-and-D.
He can pass the ball, and he's still a great defender. And he was an amazing player for the Sixers in the first round, and a big reason why they advanced past the Celtics. Yeah. So for me, I think the Celtics will be just fine. Their ceiling might be a little bit lower. Like, they can't beat a team like the Knicks, but they can beat other teams in the conference. I just think that Philly wasn't the best spot for Jaylen Brown. On paper, from a star perspective, there's a lot of stars, but you traded him to a spot that has the most injury-prone player in the league in Joel Embiid, unfortunately, and then Tyrese Maxey, who's not a natural passer, playmaker, and Edgecombe, who's going into his second season, but needs to be more on ball to be at his most effective. And Jaylen Brown is getting thrown into that, and now everything has to fit around him or Maxey. There's a lot of question marks with Philadelphia and how they're going to play, and that's why I'm not bought in on them at all. If Jaylen Brown went to a different team, I'd be more inclined to believe in what it is. It's just with Philly, it's an odd fit, and it feels like more than anything, it can be a disaster.
That's true. The one point where I push back on all of this is that, and you touched on it, there have been so many different moments where the Celtics have needed and required Jaylen Brown's isolation scoring, because that has been what they've went to time and time again, these deep playoff runs where, Riv, you talked about this tough shot making, how it's not always the most efficient quality looks that Jaylen Brown's generating, but for him to be able to create that offense at the level and the volume that he does, while simultaneously, he's not a negative on the defensive end. He's one of the most valuable assets you could have because he can guard anybody on the ball. That is such a rare skill set. And through this channel of trading Paul George, I don't know how you're going to possibly find a player as good as Jaylen Brown. To me, it's unrealistic.
You're not.
And it's
trading Paul George for someone.
By trading Paul George, maybe you can find a player as good as Jaylen Brown. It's like we had a boat, but maybe this mystery box could also be a boat.
You're not going to find Jaylen Brown.
I think the one clip that I maybe saw by Brad Stevens is that you can't replace a player like Jaylen Brown, but on the aggregate, you can get 3 different players who maybe altogether can add that same value.
Sounds like Moneyball.
And the reality is that those 3 players are going to have deficiencies that more often than not are going to limit you in more ways than Jaylen Brown's playmaking, because he was playing with the best playmaking forward in the NBA. And the other issue I have in all of this is, like you said, the delusion. Jalen Brunson, I don't know. He went up against Donovan Mitchell, not played him when Luka Doncic got hurt in his 4th season. We saw Payton Pritchard in year 6. Where was he in that Philadelphia playoff series? He was almost invisible at times. When they needed that extra creation, he was not as good. I mean, Jalen Brunson was the best player in the playoff series, averaging 30, taking 2 games and home court in year 4. Payton Pritchard's going to year 7, and we've seen what he is. It's a high-level 6-man. He can start, and he's nowhere close to Jalen Brunson. I think that's ridiculous. I've seen that, and it does infuriate me a little bit, because the reality is that he will not be Jalen Brunson. So how are you going to find that number 2? And I believe Boston will still get a lot of value by PG because he is a high-level defender, and we've seen elite stretches when he's available. But when Paul George is out of the lineup, now you've got a $55 million player that's maybe playing 60% of your games. I know this year is partly a suspension, but he's turning 36 years old. And he's a guy that hasn't played 65, 70 games since 2019. So you also have to, while paying him, 30% of your cap, you have to have a supporting cast which is able to easily flip the page when he's out the lineup and you have that dead salary. And that's where they're really going to have to count on the players that they're banking on, like Baylor Shireman, Ron Harper Jr., who they gave an extension to, maybe Jordan Walsh. And those players are going to be tasked with providing all of that value that you're losing. And I believe in the regular season, Tatum's going to bring it to you. I'm expecting this to still be an elite level regular season team. Well, in the postseason, when you maybe have Tatum who's struggling to create those isolation looks, that's not hit the strength. That's the one part of him and Jaylen Brown's game where Jaylen Brown is better. And I believe not having that value is going to rear its ugly head because you don't really have someone else that can provide that.
They're just going to lose in the first round again.
Look, last 2 years. I mean,
to me, it's not about whether the Celtics win a championship by this move. It's just whether or not you're more successful than Jaylen Brown in the same time period. If that happens, you want to trade.
Oh.
That's how I feel. I don't think that the Celtics need to win a championship.
Well, they're trying to rebuild that.
I think you need to get back to at least the conference finals.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
but ultimately,
like it's time to come on, man. We were doing this shit every year when they were like 23, 24 years old. You know,
this is more so about who will be right. Who will be in the right? Will Jaylen Brown be more successful in this next chapter of his career, or will the Celtics be? And I'm gonna buy on the Celtics.
Oh yeah, I think that's fair because like we saw last year, no one was expecting this, and I do think even if Paul George does miss 30 whatever games in the regular season, they proved last year that they can make up for it. Obviously, didn't have Tatum for basically the whole year. The one thing I don't think enough people are talking about, and I don't want to take a negative route for Paul George because he hasn't played a play yet, a minute yet for the Celtics, and I am intrigued. Killed us, destroyed us, obviously, in the first round last year, locking up the Jays. It was ugly. It was bad.
Real two-way shit.
And 55% from three, I want to say. Yeah. It was nuts. So I know what he can provide. There is a world out there. It could happen at any time where, like, that's it for Paul George. You know what I mean? Like, 36 years old, the injuries that he's had, obviously the suspension stuff that went on last year. There's a world that all of a sudden your finger snaps and this is not the same defender you saw last year. This is not the same three-point shooter you saw last year. How many guys at 36 years old do you see playing at a high level two ways? Like you could count them on one hand probably, maybe even you know what I mean, a couple fingers. So there's just this world out here, and I don't think Brad Stevens obviously didn't look at Paul George saying you're going to come in and replace Jaylen Brown. You looked at Paul George as this is a contract we can move in a year, and we're getting draft picks attached to him. So I don't think they're attached to the player. They're attached to the contract and the picks. But there's a world where you go into next year and Paul George isn't the second best player on this team. Like Derek White is just straight up better than him. There's a world where maybe Payton Pritchard is better than him because he does fall off. He has injuries again. He shoots 34% from three instead of 39% from three. And instead of being this lockdown defender he was in the second half of last season, he's just an average, maybe below average because these injuries he's been battling. It's been a sprained ankle for the last 2 weeks. It's been a sprained knee for the last month. And he doesn't have the same lateral movement. There's just a world where shit goes left this Paul George thing because of his age, because of the injury history. And obviously you're taking that into account when you make the deal, but it's something I think a lot of people are just expecting the same version of Paul George we saw in the playoffs in the second half of last year to go the entire year next year. And I hope it happens. Obviously I want that to happen, but I'd be lying to myself if there's not a real like 30% chance, 40%, maybe even 50-50 that it doesn't go that way.
Speaking about financials, Victor Wembanyama took a pay cut, 5 years, $252 million. Still a lot of money. But when you look at the details of the contract, Wembanyama decided on the 25% maximum instead of 30% supermax escalators to $303 million. So it is a $50+ million pay cut, a sizable amount of money to leave on the table. But Victor Wembanyama is all in on winning. And this is a great scenario for the Spurs because now the De'Aaron Fox contract isn't as crippling since Wemby took a little bit of a pay cut.
Castle too. I'm excited to see what he does. Maybe he takes also another slight pay cut so they can add more things to the roster.
Wemby set tone just now.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right?
if you set the tone like that, Castle probably like, all right, well, if you did it, why can't I? But I could also understand getting your money. Like, I understand that too. I don't know what these players have done, like have lived in their past lives. Maybe they were poor and stuff like that. Got to take care of a lot of families. So I understand the point of, I need all my money, as much money as I can get. You never know what happens. The next day you can break a bone, knock on wood, and then you're just done for your whole career. So I understand it for sure. As for Wemby, though, he is following the Jalen Brunson route in a way. Just taking that pay cut. Still 250 though. 250 is still crazy. But just being able to keep the Spurs flexible and, you know, maintaining this roster. Obviously, he got a taste of the finals. And when you get a taste of the finals, that just makes you want to win it even more. Want you to go back every year. And with a talent like him, they're going to be able to do that as long as they keep their nucleus together, as long as they can, you know, continue to build this roster. Like the Tobias Harris move. I think Fox, we'll see. I know in the regular season he's going to be really good. I know that for a fact. He's going to give you all-star level play. It's just about the playoffs. He kind of made a lot of bad decisions for a vet that he shouldn't make. Also played in a couple bad games. But I will say he's still, until we see like Harper and Castle ascend to that level, he's still their best passer on the team. So I think that is something you're going to need, especially when Castle gets a little too turnover prone. Fox can still give you that as long as he's healthy and stuff. But that contract, I don't think he's going to be able to hold up to that end of the contract anymore. But good on Wemby for doing this. Obviously, he wants to continue to win.
The Spurs are in a great position. They just made the NBA Finals, and now Wemby takes a pay cut. They signed Tobias Harris in free agency. I thought it was a good move. But nothing will help them out more than if OKC keeps missing on their draft picks. And I'm not saying that this recent draft are going to be misses for them, but just when you look at the last couple of first-round picks that they've had, they haven't had much success. Like, a lot of the idea of what OKC could be with all these draft picks is, wow, how are they going to get worse at all? Well, Topic, unfortunately, Thomas Sorber, I mean, not a miss, but
Casey Wallace is a hit.
But a serious injury. Casey Wallace is a hit, but Thomas Sorber is a serious injury in his rookie season, and just off of summer league right now, I mean, AD Amara doesn't look the best. I'm just saying.
Bro, what are you doing?
I'm not gonna overreact and say like he's not gonna be good.
Okay,
because I like AD Amara.
So they missed on a dude who had got I don't know what it was.
Testicular cancer and torn ACL.
The dude that has cancer, the dude that has ACL. And they ain't even missed on the ACL guy. Yeah, he just doesn't play. Yeah. So they ain't missed.
I think it's a little harsh.
So they ain't missed from what I'm getting at.
When is Thomas Sorber gonna play?
I don't know, because Jalen Williams is good. He's their third string big man. Isaiah Hartenstein is good. Chet, first rounder.
If Thomas Sorber does not play, is that a miss?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
He really might not play.
But they could miss so much, it don't matter. Like, I just mentioned 3 bigs they have. Chet, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams. And then AD Amara, they just drafted. That's 4 bigs. J-Dub is there. Mitchell, AJ Mitchell was a second rounder. He's a hit. Case and Wallace is still there. Then you have Crusoe. Like what are we doing here?
They get like a top 3
and then Bennett Sturts is good. Like Bennett Sturts is going to be good. So it's like,
we'll see.
I don't see any misses. I just see a team that was hurt last year, and if they're not hurt, they're going to win 60 games again, and they're going to be back in the WCF.
It's harder for a young player in Oklahoma City because you have to immediately step in and provide value and fit into a role, because if not, it makes a lot more sense for them to trade you to avoid that luxury tax penalty, because they are one of those teams that's hard pressed against it. But the other layer of it too is that a lot of these young players just simply have not played. And for like a Nikola Topic, it's extremely difficult because what he was drafted to be was in a way kind of like the Josh Giddey replacement, but with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being the best perimeter creator in basketball,
and he was hurt,
and AJ Mitchell ascending, it's really hard to find that playing time and those reps for him to fully develop. So to me, it's just more likely they're going to trade a Thomas Sorber and Nikola Topic to cut that money. Maybe they end up keeping Lou Dort. In that case, I'll take my L and say I was wrong if they keep him.
They accepted his option.
They accepted his option.
They
still could trade Lou Dort, but to me, it's a lot more likely they would trade some of those young players and keep a veteran like that who still provides important value in the postseason. So I just can't see a world where those guys are riding the bench for Oklahoma City.
I just can't see a world where they play at all. Yeah. Like Thomas Sorber is behind Chet, Hartenstein, now Mara, who it's just hard to not play him because he's 7'3",
yeah.
And then Jalen Williams. Like, it's like, where is your role unless somebody gets hurt? And then Topic, you have Shai, AJ, Kaysen. You have Lou Dort.
Yeah, I think there's too much right now.
Cap casualty.
They have 2 misses out of the last 12.
Yeah, okay, bro.
Since they've become contenders, those have been their picks.
Maybe if you're including
no.
Jones.
Yes.
AJ Mitchell was a pick when they were contenders.
It's 2 years ago, right?
His rookie year was their year they
this past season
won
was
the
second
chip.
year.
Yeah.
Okay, but that is That is just a crazy pick. That's a second round pick. Nobody thought this.
That's
But you
fair,
gotta give
you
him credit
can't-
for a second
Not
round
facts,
hit.
facts,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
just saying like the first rounders.
One of
The
those
first
draft
okay.
picks.
Like nobody's
Versus-
saying, "Oh man, OKC stacked, man. They got 10 second
So
rounders."
what about Case and Wallace?
That was they got him, and then they became really good. His rookie year is when they made the playoffs.
Was it when they lost to the Mavericks? Was that his rookie year?
Yes.
Okay. I still feel like that should count as a hit. but
Listen,
okay.
they've hit more than they missed, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that's why they're in this position right now. But with San Antonio, I love what they
does
did
San
with
Antonio
the
hit
draft.
on? Jeremy Sohan and shit?
Castle, Harper,
Dylan
Wemby.
Harper was a hit.
They hit on top
All
four
their
picks.
top four, which
Yeah.
is
They hit on, so they
You
hit
name
on,
your
they
top
hit
four
on,
picks, they're gonna be
guys.
they
really
hit on the top
freaking
guys.
good.
OKC does that, but they don't got no gems. OKC has gems.
Yeah.
Well,
Vassell?
they do have some
Champagne's
gems.
a gem.
Champagne.
Wasn't he wasn't a draft? Was he undrafted?
They
Nah,
got
nah.
him
He
from
got him
Philadelphia.
free,
but
yeah,
Yeah,
what
we're
else?
not counting those right now.
But low
No,
That's from the
I
gym.
thought we were only counting
I mean,
drafts.
that's
you
good,
find a
that's
guy,
good
that's a
pro
gem.
scouting.
All right, fair.
You know what
Count
I
him.
mean?
Count him. Count him.
What was
You talking about
Vassell?
AJ Mitchell was out of a bottle, but that shit not out of a bottle. What are we doing?
I mean, nobody thought AJ Mitchell would be this.
Did you
Where-
think Champagne was going to be a high quality role player?
Yes.
You're lying. You're lying.
I'm not.
You're lying. Who else?
We haven't had the conversation because we don't talk about role players nearly enough on this show.
So who else on the Spurs? Shit gets dark after that, doesn't it?
Trade for Fox. What was Vassell picked? Was he a lottery pick?
Yeah.
He was a minute
Yeah.
ago though.
He's
True,
been
yeah.
on the
He's
team
been
for a
good.
while.
Same with Keldon.
Yeah, well, Keldon would technically be one.
He was
Well, now
awful.
it's well,
He was a while ago too.
they
though.
just
wasn't
made the
that good.
playoffs, so now
Fair.
we'll see if they can hit from now on. They drafted Tariq Reed Jr. and Jaden Quintan, so we'll see if those
Yeah.
end up being hits. But that is what they
Jaden
needed.
might be.
That's
Really
what they
like those
needed,
picks
though.
with them.
They needed more bigs because Cornette.
Wait,
was
hold
not
on, hold
good.
on. Because wait. You're saying Sorbor is a miss because he doesn't play.
Yeah,
You know, JQ's not really gonna play, right? He's injured again.
when did he get hurt?
He's been hurt. He got hurt again. His knee's
Wasn't
still
he warming up for summer league though?
not. His knee's still not good.
But he might play. I don't know. We'll see. If he doesn't play, then it's a miss.
Okay, I'm
not saying that's
okay.
going to be a hit. I'm just saying if he doesn't play, yeah, that's a miss.
All right.
OKC for the most part, I mean, their players just don't play because they're just too stacked. It's kind of it sucks for these players that they
Yeah.
don't get this opportunity.
I remember they drafted, what was it, Theo Maladone? Was that his
Yeah,
name?
Maladon.
He was good,
He
man.
could never play. That's
I
crazy.
like them. 6'5", could defend, put the ball on the floor.
He had like the Thunder record for assists in a game by a rookie.
Oh, for real? What was the number?
Not maybe it was pretty high, somewhere in the mid-teens.
Like 15, 14?
Now people don't get how much OKC used to be in the mud because they're so good. They were getting hyped up over Josh Giddey triple doubles, multiple player of the months, rookie of the months when he was a rookie. Then you had Pokazevsky, another
the
guy.
Poku shit was crazy.
The hype was crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
there was a lot of hype behind
The hype was
Poku.
crazy.
You mentioned Theo Maladone. Like, man, those were some dudes
Usman
that
Dang just got traded last
I
year.
thought they
Moses
were going to
Brown.
become good role players.
Moses Brown
What
had
a
a
name.
moment too.
What a
He was
name.
part of the
Moses Brown
Horford
did.
trade to Boston, and one of my boys was a Thunder fan. He's like, "Yo, Moses Brown gonna be that fucking dude for y'all." I was like, all right.
Moses Brown.
I'm crying.
Nah,
was
for
like
real.
the-
OKC's has some dudes, man.
He was like the Delano Banton of front court players. The Celtics.
Ben just got waived by us.
Did he?
Tragic.
Yeah.
About time.
But to get to Wemby for a second, I think it's a very humble move. Number one, right, to just have that self-awareness that when it's all said and done, bro, Wemby can make $1 billion off the court. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think money is ever going to be an object for him again in his life. So you could still make $250 million. What's there really in this world that you could do with 300 you can't do with 250? You know what I mean? Like, at that point, like, it's really like a rounding error for a lot of these dudes. So I think you see, obviously the team you just lost to, and Jaylen Brunson taking a pay cut, being that leader. And both of them were kind of in unique positions because Jaylen Brunson, I don't know how much it has to do with him just being boys with Josh Hart and everyone on the team, but I think it came into it somewhat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
listen,
for
you
sure.
take this pay cut, we're going to be able to bring in, you already have Josh Hart, you can be able to bring in Mikhail. Like, you have this friendship here that you guys have been growing. It's turned into a championship because of it, which makes it even sweeter. And then Wemby's another outlier where he's basically already the face of the NBA. He's going to have any endorsement he wants. He's going to be able to make up for that $50 million 10 times over in the next few seasons. So it's just great for the Spurs. It's terrifying for the rest of the league because, like you were mentioning, if Wemby, the face of the league, the face of the franchise, is taking a $50 million pay cut, what does it say for the rest of the team? Like, on one hand, Castle and Harper and these dudes aren't going to have the same opportunities in terms of like endorsements as a Wemby can, but you're also looking at him like, holy shit, you just took this big pay cut. Am I obligated to take a pay cut? If all of these dudes start taking a pay cut, now you have money to go and get free agents and, sign dudes on the MLE or buy a mark, whatever it might be. And you don't have to run into these second apron issues that we've just talked about for the last 45 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see what the trickle effect is just for the rest of the Spurs roster. My gut is still that Castle, Harper, these dudes are going to take the max. I don't think they're going to take as much of a cut as Wemby just did. But I think it's just a really selfless act for Wemby to take that because they're going to be able to keep this roster and they're going to be able to, keep having talent come through. Not only do they have the draft picks, but they're going to have some extra cap to bring in, these veterans trying to chase a ring.
Yeah, you really don't see the pay cut all that often, especially when a player is eligible for X amount of money and they decide to take less. The Jalen Brunson pay cut stuff is a little bit, it's not clear what exactly it was when it was reported on. The offseason that he signed his contract, the money he signed for was the maximum amount of money he could get at that time.
Yeah.
The pay cut stuff comes from, well, if he waited a year, he could have gotten $113 million more. But for Brunson, how he viewed it is, I could get hurt a year from now, or I could get hurt in the middle of the season and this contract is not there. I'm just going to take the sure thing and what's available to me now and then just sign it so I have long-term security.
That's true.
So Brunson signed the maximum at the time available. He could have waited, and I think he still would have gotten the max regardless. But you don't often see players when there's that much money left to be had, they leave it on the table and they just take less. But this definitely puts the Spurs in a better position, a team that made the NBA Finals. NBA Summer League where stars are made. This is it right here. And this is fresh on my mind right now. Caleb Wilson looked like a superstar, made a ton of threes, had the most points in a Summer League debut. It feels like the Bulls, they got their guy, man. It feels like the Bulls finally have the guy they can build around. I can't remember the last time I've been this high on a top 4 in a draft. Caleb Wilson,
all look fucking great.
Yeah, Caleb Wilson is a 4th overall pick, but he could be number 1 in a lot of other drafts. Caleb Wilson is a complete package. He could defend. He needs to work on his handle, but he could put the ball on the floor a little bit. If that shooting could come along, the sky's the limit for him.
Absolutely. It was really cool, too, to see yesterday because a lot of these young players in Summer League are far from finished projects and prospects. And for Caleb Wilson, even with all the ways that he can develop as a decision maker, as a passer, maybe as a defender as well, we're seeing the foundation with his physical profile, his athleticism, that gives him such a high floor. And then you add in the shooting confidence, which is rapidly growing. And yesterday, it's a Summer League game, but it's nice to see him comfortably hitting shots off the catch. And then also maybe having the potential to hit shots off the dribble as well. And for a Chicago team that doesn't necessarily have the most shooting, they've added in Norman Powell, of course. It's vital, too, to play him alongside Matisse Bezel so they're both developing as three-point shooters. But I think the biggest takeaway for me is that his foundation with the mid-range shooting, with the athleticism, the drive game, and then that defensive potential, which is really not tapped into at all right now, it gives him this do-it-all package that can make him the Bulls franchise player. And watching him and Cam go back-to-back yesterday was special.
It was special. The AJ DP battle was a lot of fun too. DP
should not college no more. Like we in grown man leagues and shit.
AJ definitely got him there. He looked like the better player in their specific matchup. But the game, I don't know if it was the game prior, 2 games prior, one of the first 2 games DP played, he was
he played
out there
Booz.
killing. Yeah. Boozer had himself a really good game. He was efficient. I watched one of the Celtics games. I think they've only played one yesterday, 2 days ago. Chris and Knack had a really decent debut. You saw the athleticism. You saw the rebounding. Amari Williams looked pretty decent. I'm a little high on Amari Williams.
Big.
I like Amari Williams.
You told me he was trash.
No. I think when we drafted Chris and Knack, I said he's not better than Amari Williams. Amari Williams, he's just this big. He's like 7 foot, but he's got a little handle. He can move. He can pass. He can move in transition too. So there's some fun upside there. But the AJ versus DP, that's been the highlight so far of the Summer League.
Yeah, I just think that Cameron
Sorry,
Boozer,
I just wanted to look up this one stat.
In the midst of all these players having great performances when they play the Grizzlies, you've seen Caleb and Darren have them already. Cameron Boozer has just been the model of consistency. He hasn't had the flashiest, most high-end games, but he's always giving you a solid stat line. And in the Bulls game, they won the matchup, and he had 23 points, I believe. He had a near double-double. He had 4 assists as well. I think all these 4 guys, man, they're going to be really good. I think Cameron Boozer, he's not the most flashy of them. He's never been, but he's just a winner. He just finds a way to be productive and get things done. And I'm still in awe of the way he can handle the ball at his size. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have that first step to get by defenders, but he can shoot over anybody. He already has great touch. He can put the ball on the floor. And I think he is the best passer outside of AJ of the top 4.
Who?
Boozer.
Oh. Just say Caleb for a second.
Nah.
Yeah, a lot happened, man. I think Summer League is the overreaction part. I think that's the fun part about it, where you look at the player and you go, oh my God, this is exactly what we envisioned if you were a franchise. And you look at another player, you're like, I can't believe we drafted this bust. He's so terrible. And that's kind of what you've seen on Twitter, and that's been, or X, I should say, and that's been Keen Wagler. You know, the overreactions are going insane for him. He didn't have a good Summer League game, and I was watching. It was actually pretty terrible.
Are we not a little bit worried about Keen Wagler?
I know it. I'm not, because I seen this stuff in the league, and I always felt like he's gonna play better next to a primary ball handler until he gets those handles up and until he gets his physical frame up. Because a lot of times, as you can see, the handle is not super strong. It's decent, but he gets bumped off his first drop, his first step. A lot of the times, he's not strong enough. He's not physical enough. He's long though. He's 6'6", so he gives you that room. He's a really good shooter. I know he didn't show it a ton, but he is a really, really good shooter. I think him with the Clippers, with Darius Garland, who's one of the best pure point guards in the league, that's going to create a lot of good things for him. But he did play Darius Acuff. And one thing about Darius Acuff, he has the moves. He has the toolbox, every skill in the book. He can get to the rim. He's a really, really good pick and roll player. He has the mid-range and he can get to the basket. That's somebody who's going to, test your your defensive prow and your offensive repertoire. And you can see the difference from him, Fleming, and Mikal Brown Jr. as opposed to Keen Wagler, where these guys are a lot more quicker, a lot more, pace and space. Mikal Brown Jr. is another guy who's been showing his flash as a passer, playmaker. I feel like the Nets are going to be super competitive this year. Maybe not win a lot of games, but definitely be in the race as long as Mikal Brown Jr. could do his thing. Yegor Demon. There we go. He's been really good. He looks a lot faster last year. He looks like he can actually get to the rim now. His first step looks better. He looks a lot more twitchy. The jumper looks really good. So I'm liking what Brooklyn's going to do. They're probably going to run, a 6'5" and up lineup, which is a big lineup in today's NBA. I'm excited to see that for sure. But yeah, the big story obviously is Caleb versus Boozer, which I thought Caleb was really good offensively. Kind of got a little bit lost on the defensive side. I want him to improve on that end. And then Boozer, like you mentioned, just the motto of consistency. I think turnovers have hurt big for like Caleb. That was his first game. He had a lot of turnovers. And DP, he's been on the ball a lot. And he talked about how in Kansas, he didn't really play like how he wanted Bill Self to play. And he was a lot off ball. Now he's been on ball. He likes it more on ball. So it's just interesting to see that dynamic with him and Keontae George. But turnovers have been hurting. I mean, and like just to cap it all off, AJ, man, this guy, man.
There's no words.
Like this guy,
He's speechless.
bro. He's just like, he missed a good amount of shots, but he got every shot he wanted. Like he can get to the rim whenever he wants. The mid-range is pure. Obviously, he has to work on the makes, but he gets so much separation. He's so tall. His rise is so high. I don't know how you're going to be able to block his shot. Mm-hmm. And then, like I mentioned, he can just get to the rim at will. Like, you cannot stop him from getting to his spot. Obviously, Summer League and the league got a lot stronger guys going to be on him and stuff like that. Like, he's going to see the Scotties of the world, the Kawhis of the world. But I know when he builds up that physical frame, bro, it's going to be scary. I thought he played really well, and then his passing has gotten better throughout the year. He saw that too this last Summer League game. But like, I'm with you, Joel. The Big Four is great, and even after the Big Four, like Fine-Law was great. Braden Berry showed some stuff. Kingston Fleming looks like a true driver of the ship. He's a really good point guard. He fits that Mike Conley, just can do a little bit of everything, can be your engine type point guard. Obviously, he's a righty, so different. But just that bull on your team that can be, the stoppage. He can guy that can control the ship. I like Flemings. I think all of these guys, outside of obviously Eddie Murray, didn't look so great. Even Cole Pete looked really good. Yaxu has been dope for the Warriors. I think this top 15, 20, it's a really good draft, and I'm excited to see how they all transition to the NBA.
There's a difference between overreacting and game footage reaffirming concerns. And that is where Keaton Vogler falls in line. it is not an overreaction to be concerned about how he's going to consistently create advantages in the league, because in college, you saw that the athleticism sometimes could limit him. The not being able to consistently get by defenders. He played in one of the best, most spaced out environments in Illinois with multiple bigs who can clean up rebounds and create extra possessions. Vogler was drafted to be a tweener, to be somebody that could play the two, but that could also be the one and can initiate if need be. Based on the athletic limitations and then what we saw in the first game of Summer League, it's not an overreaction, but it just is like, okay, he struggled and he struggled because of his inability to consistently get by people. And if he doesn't offer that other value of being an initiator and needing to be somebody that's relying on somebody else, it kills a lot of the value that he was drafted for. Like, to be the 5th overall pick over other point guards who are much more natural with the ball, can create much more advantages like Mikal and Kingston Flemings and Acuff, over somebody that in theory can do both, but now we're seeing, maybe he can only do one, which is not a bad thing. It's just you drafted him at 5 to provide the value of both, not just one.
And luckily for him, he is playing next to Darius Garland, who's one of the best shooters, passers, and ball handlers at the point guard position. And I feel like when the Clippers made the pick, a lot of it was the right landing spot for Keaton because they have the spacing, they have these extra creators, they have 2 all-stars next to him. But it is understandable that there were some red flags, I would say. And the biggest one is that he would often get compared to Tyrese Halliburton, but he's not close to the playmaker that Tyrese is. And that's where you start to pigeonhole him more as a 2. He has the size for it, maybe not the strength. And you're really expecting him to get a little bit stronger if he has to guard up. And I'm still optimistic about him, even if I don't see him as a true one at the next level, because of the fact the 3-point shooting, the overall feel as a scorer. And I feel like he can get to his spots in the mid-range space, but how well that translates from Illinois to Los Angeles, I think that's going to be the biggest key, because I saw at the college level, he was able to consistently get to his looks at a super efficient level. But I feel early on he might struggle, and it could take him a little bit longer. The other thing I want to say is, because last year we went to Summer League for the second time, and we saw Con Knipple, and to me it was funny because I remember his game, he had almost a donut for more than half of it. I think back to our first time going to Summer League, Victor Wembanyama going up against Houston, Charlotte. He had the yips in the first game as a scorer. There are so many great NBA players, Evan Mobley, that have a very poor first game in Summer League.
Hugo Gonzalez.
And I don't believe it's any barometer on the NBA player you become. It's like week 1 in the NFL or game 1 of the NBA playoffs where you see a team like the Magic beat the soon-to-be champion Lakers. I don't see it as a barometer of this is why I don't believe in this player, but you laid it out pretty fairly. It can reaffirm what you thought about the player previously, even if, to me, it's like an imperfect way of trying to judge what a player is going to be.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Buka. He had a good-ass game.
I didn't get to see it too much. I saw him, he had
like 6 threes.
Yeah.
That's why it's always hard to know what you want to talk about in regards to Summer League, because most of it is meaningless in the grand scheme of things. Like these games don't matter. Summer League was a big reason why I thought Kevin Knox could be a star, and it obviously didn't matter at all. So,
I like it,
but it's always good, even though you don't have to overreact. It's good, especially for these guys that are picked in the top 4 or 5. It's almost a lot of Summer League dudes. It's a lot of continuation of college, right? So you have obviously more mix of NBA guys that are playing consistently, but you want to see your top 4 or 5 pick play well, because it just shows like anything. Like if you're good as a freshman in college, you're more likely going to be better, when you get into the NBA, because you've proven even at a younger age, even if maybe you're not as developed, these other guys, you're still able to go and, get your shot or defend, whatever it might be you do. So it's always good when it confirms it. But like Joel mentioned, it could be good or bad. You know what I mean? It can confirm something you like, it can confirm something you don't like, and you could get caught either way, honestly.
I also do feel like this year, more than a couple we've seen, this Big Four feels personal. Like where they've got picked, who went picked over them. This Big Four, it feels like they take these games against each other really, really personal, and they feel like they're much better than the opposing guy. Like it felt like Caleb Wilson talked about when he was talking about before the game yesterday, how I played all of them. I've outplayed all of them. Like he
was
said
pissed. He dropped 36, and he was like, "We lost."
Yeah,
like he was upset.
And this is not the first time he said it. He said that multiple times. And then you talk DP where he said like, Cam Boozer feels like I got picked over him, that he had to make a point. Couldn't let that happen. And then, when they talked about AJ, DP said it's going to be a big one. Like they take these games personally. When AJ went up there on Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes' podcast, and he was like, I expect to go number 1. I don't need to work out for any of the team. Like, it feels like they take it more personal than not, like more personal than most classes in the top 4. And it's elite. It feels like we have like budding rivalries before, like the last one I can remember vividly, obviously Victor and Chet, but Cade and Jalen Green.
Yeah.
They were always at it every time. They took it personal. And, they even spoke about it, like when we see, like Cade said when he was talking to Shaq, like when I see him and he see me, we know what's up. But I got to remind him every time, like, I'm number 1, you number 2 for a reason. So I like that. I like that dynamic of it too.
We need more of that. The other draft class that was like that was 2017 with Fultz, Alonzo playing in college, and then Jason Tatum being the best player clearly from that draft class.
Don't forget Fox was in there too.
Fox, who was outplaying Lonzo at a point in college. There are all those elite players that can go head to head, and I feel there's a lot of draft classes where you don't have that. And if a player doesn't have that competitive motor, you can often see that stagnating their development. We see that all the time. And I think it's great for the NBA, especially look at this draft class as being better than the other ones. Basically, all these other ones we can mention.
I just wish they all went to the East.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
You really just have, I guess, AJ
Two,
and Caleb. But I would rather have AJ and KP.
I want AJ and DP in the East. Yeah, I wish.
You have the top 4 rivalries, and then you have the other subplot of the draft, which is just who's going to be the best point guard of it. I think that's interesting because you have 4 guys who went very high. I like Mikal Brown Jr. the most, and I feel like from everything he's shown me, he's reaffirmed my beliefs in him. He's able to get off any shot he wants. He has excellent handle, and he plays defense, and he has the best size of all of them that can also put the ball on the floor, because Vogler has similar size, but he just doesn't have the same wiggle or handle that Mikal Brown Jr. has. And, I'll be the first one to say that I didn't really see it with Kingston Flemings throughout the draft process, but I'm seeing it now in Summer League. I just think that he might not be the scorer that we see from a lot of these modern day point guards, but it's nice to have a change of pace. It's nice to have a true point guard reemerge in the mix that isn't focused on scoring, that's focused on playmaking and defense, and that's what Kingston Flemings is. Mm-hmm. And I think for this Atlanta Hawks team, that's exactly what they need, somebody to get everybody else into their spots. And Kingston is super quick. He's a great decision maker. He doesn't turn over the ball, which I think is the best trait about him. And even though they try to knock him for his size in the pre-draft process, he doesn't play that way. He gets his hand on the passing lanes. He's blocking jump shots. I think Kingston is going to be awesome for Atlanta.
Yeah, listen, I love this point guard class. I love all of them, from Phylon to Buka to Mikal to Flemings to Keaton to Acuff to Barry's. If he's even a point guard, he's probably more of a 2. But I love them all. I think this class, you really like. I'm more often than not leaning with you, where I do think Mikal's going to be number 1, like it's the best. I think Acuff's going to be number 2, but I can see a world where Ibuka's number 2. I can see a world where Flemings is number 1. Like there's worlds where I can see it, because I can see a world where Phylon is like 3, like, or Barry's is 4. Like this class for me just feels so. Like, I think Mikal has the highest ceiling. I think he does have the highest ceiling out the bunch. But I think all their, like, second-tier ceilings or their floors are, like, similar. They're all so good and can do a little bit of everything, I think. And, like, Phylon's a really good shooter and ball handler. He's twitching the lanes, and he's, his pace is elite. Acuff, one of the best pick-and-roll point guards I've seen in college in a long time. He can get to the mid-range and get to the rim. Mikal, his combination of size and shooting talent. With, like you mentioned, on defense, if he can just be a quality defender, he has long arms, he can get into the passing lanes. And then Flemings, like I talked about it, he's a bulldog, steady as it comes. Then Ibuka, like this dude self-created on like 80% of his attempts in college, and you saw in the summer league, he was able to do what he wants. And that for me, I feel like that one is tricky, because if he becomes that guy, then you're thinking like, all right, we got another guy who can put the ball in the basket. That's going to be huge. But yeah, I love this point guard class. I love this class in general, but this point guard class is like 7-8 deep. And I even mentioned Sturts, who's going to get buried probably at the bench for OKC, but he's a really good point guard too.
Hopefully he doesn't, because he could be what they need. But they have so many.
They got
players.
McCain and shit. I forgot about McCain, bro. Although he really
They have
ain't that
so many
good.
It's gonna
players,
be another
dude.
fucking bust for OKC, bro. Another missed pick.
Literally, bro. They got too much talent. So Shams reported that the Kawhi Leonard trade is not finished yet.
Here we go.
The Clippers-Raptors trade centered on Kawhi Leonard will not be complete until the NBA investigation into the Clippers is over. For the past 10 months, our organization has fully cooperated with an NBA investigation. This is a statement from the Clippers to ESPN. Participating in dozens of interviews, providing tens and thousands of documents, etc. On June 30th, we reached an agreement in principle to trade Kawhi to the Raptors. We have since been informed that the trade can only be finalized if the Raptors' ownership group assumes the risk of penalties related to Kawhi's contract that could theoretically result from the ongoing investigation. The investigation is ongoing, and we expect the trade to be finalized following its conclusion. So now a tidbit in this is that somebody high up in the Raptors is actually the person that's gonna be the one handing down the punishment on the Kawhi aspiration
These
case.
fucking leagues, man. They're all.
I think
just
that's
corrupt.
interesting because that sounds like that's probably why Clippers got off that deal so quick.
Mhm.
They didn't want to deal with if it does being true, getting those penalties. They've already been penalized before, so like I can see it now because even a package like that for Kawhi, who's just coming off his best year, you got Brandon Ingram, 2 first-round picks, if I'm not mistaken, like a couple seconds or whatever it was, and then Grady Dick. Like that feels like even though he's old, like I feel like you could have got a little bit more, maybe like a better, I don't know, maybe just something a little bit more. And then the deal happened so fast, it was just like, okay, interesting. And now you're telling me that it might go through. I don't know. I feel like
This is the reporting on it before you go, just so we can have more of an informed opinion about what's going on. Larry Tannenbaum, which is the
Related to Mike.
I don't know,
Okay.
maybe the outgoing Raptors owner Larry Tannenbaum is the chairman of the NBA's board of governors. So just keep that
I'm
in mind
screaming.
when this is going on. And per sources, the Raptors did their due diligence with the NBA prior to making the most recent trade for Kawhi Leonard.
I mean, the fact that no team would be more informed than the Clippers, and it sounds like the Raptors, right? Like the Raptors,
Yeah.
if he's the one handing down the punishment, I'm sure he
and
has all
they
this
feel super
information.
confident. They made the trade.
Yeah.
So they feel like he's probably going to end up innocent, or they're not going to get penalized as much because you just said that the Raptors were informed before they made the deal. They knew what was going on.
And their owner is
He's the board,
on the board of governors.
so they know exactly. They know just as much as the Clippers.
Why'd the statement come out in the first place? Are they just like, are people like, why isn't it official? Like, what even sparked this? You know what I mean?
It was just a report on
Shams
why
just
it's
came
not
out with it.
official.
Okay, because usually it's like, you make the trade.
Oh, because
and
all the
then-
other deals are official.
Exactly.
now.
Like you
Yeah.
see the Sixers post Jaylen Brown and shit. It's probably people are wondering like, why hasn't this gone through?
But
yet?
it's weird though, because if the trade doesn't go through, let's just assume that it doesn't go through and the NBA harshly penalizes the Clippers. Adam Silver harshly penalizes the richest owner in basketball in Steve Ballmer and his franchise in which he just built a brand new arena for. I highly doubt it. Then what happens to Kawhi? If his contract is voided, is he just like he can't sign with the Raptors if he wanted to? How does that work?
Be difficult to at their cap situation. I mean, it would really
Who
be
does
brutal.
have cap
No
right
one
now?
really has
Nobody has
cap.
cap right now. So it doesn't make sense. I mean,
you have to sign a.
the
I don't know
fact
what
that
to do,
the
bro.
owner of the Raptors is on the NBA board of governors, it makes me believe that the Raptors know how this is going to go down. They don't believe something serious is coming, and they were more than comfortable with making the trade. And this Kawhi Leonard trade should be finalized
Yeah.
sometime soon.
I
Yeah.
mean, they did say they're expecting to become finalized. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it right now. I don't know if it's because the report just feels a little bit out of the blue. Part of it too, Adam Silver said after the Knicks won the championship, he got asked and he said like, we're expecting this to wrap up shortly. And that was like a fucking month and a half ago at this point, So the fact that maybe I'm guessing it's probably like a month ago. But the fact that it's even taken this long, like this aspiration came out last summer, was it right? Like
He played a whole season.
I understand you have to do your due diligence and all this legal shit takes a lot of time, but for a league that has this many resources, you're going into this offseason, the dude gets traded and you still haven't been able to figure it out. I don't know if someone dropped
Well,
the
they
ball.
posted BI Like on
Did
the
they?
not like as a I think it was like in a picture. Nah, I lied. That was us, bro. Never mind. Never mind.
No, but it's I just think that because of Adam Silver's relationship with Steve Ballmer, this is why this hasn't gotten
He's
finalized.
also rich as shit.
They're finding the best possible way to tell everybody that we're not doing anything about this, and I think they just don't know what to say right now, because when the aspiration thing did come out, All-Star Weekend was where? The Intuit Dome in LA. You know, and you're not gonna have an entire investigation where you're hosting the All-Star Weekend.
Do it a month after.
So I just feel like overall, like the Clippers have been very tied to the NBA for a while now, and I mean this isn't the first time that Steve Ballmer has done something like this. The Clippers have been investigated for manipulating the cap 2 separate occasions. In 2015 with DeAndre Jordan, and then in 2019 when they got Kawhi and Paul George. When they got Kawhi, they made promises to his uncle. And that's where this entire thing came from. So this is not even the first time they've been investigated for doing something. It's been multiple occasions now. So I doubt something happens. I hope nothing does happen, because I want Kawhi Leonard to be on Toronto. Toronto, what are they missing from, you think, becoming the best team in the Eastern Conference next season?
Just a little bit more consistent shooting.
Yeah, shooting for sure.
And then a real big.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 bigs. Not like real, but like, good.
I think you could also just talk about their guards too. Like, I know RJ's coming off a good season. Emmanuel quickly. It's a weaker guard duo when you compare them to their.
Yeah, honestly, outside of their wings, everything. Yeah. Low key.
I don't know.
Not a bad team.
Even with Kawhi, it's hard to see them as the potential best team in the East. Like, I think you could call them a contender because what that duo can be on both sides of the ball. But when you do look at the rest of the roster, I don't think it's as complete as New York's, for example. Talent-wise, Philly's right up there, even though fit might be a little weirder. Boston's fit, I think, is comparable. So, like, even with Kawhi, I don't think they put themselves in, like, a Tier 1 in the Eastern Conference.
I think there's only one team in Tier 1.
I would argue that
And I don't even know if they're that nice, bro.
they're firmly in the discussion of contenders, but definitely a center with Jakob Poeltl regressing and the injury issues that he's had, and also a cleaner fit next to Kawhi and Scotty Barnes. A lot of these players in Toronto are younger. Jacoby Walter, I like a lot, and he played really well this year. We're expecting, hoping that he can take that next step forward. But if he doesn't, maybe you don't have quite enough shooting if it's RJ quickly, Colin Murray Boyles, Kawhi, and Scotty Barnes. So I would say the youth of this team also another factor in that, because CMB can most definitely play center as a small ball 5 long term, but you like to have the option to play him at either of the 2 spots.
Yeah.
I would also argue maybe with this Kawhi Leonard situation that something else popped up in their investigation, and that is what has led to this brief hiatus. But I would also firmly argue I want to see Kawhi in the East. I want to see him go back to Toronto, pick up where he left off, because the Raptors actually lost in the next year. They're on a 60-win pace before the bubble, right? And that team has been completely reorchestrated what it is now, and they have one of the youngest groups in the NBA. We saw them basically outplay the Cavaliers after the first 2 games of that series, where Cleveland definitely knocked them back. They look like the better team, and they're absolutely destroyed by injuries. So I hope that he's able to go to a place that's going to continue to develop. And as he ages out of his prime, those younger players can truly take the mantle. And for Scotty Barnes, I can't think of a better player to pair alongside him, where now he becomes number 2, and he can truly unlock even a higher level of his defensive pedigree and the playmaking aspect.
Scotty becomes 2?
What do you mean? Oh, number 2? Well, yeah, with Kawhi, you have to be. Kawhi is top 10 player in the world, but Scotty's not too far off as a top 20 guy. So I just love Kawhi being the number 1 in the short term, and then you have Scotty Barnes as being the kind of perfect complement as a playmaker, defender, and secondary scorer that can run the offense when Kawhi's out.
Well, you think Scotty or Kawhi has higher usage next year?
Scotty should.
I think Scotty, like, obviously Kawhi's the better player.
I think the usage is different.
Scores more, but I still think Scotty's looked as like the main initiator of that offense.
Yeah, but I think Scotty's gonna just initiate it to Kawhi, which is why the usage is gonna be a little different.
Yeah, like the offense will definitely go through Kawhi. He'll be the guy that they run the offense through. I don't feel like people understand just how rare it is to see so many high-level players playing at an old age now. At the age that Kawhi Leonard is at, usually, bruh, the careers are cooked. Like, you maybe have like a year or 2 left, and it's definitely not at an all-star, all-NBA level. And from this era alone, from the 2010 stars, we've seen Curry, KD, Harden, Russell Westbrook has some great years in his post-30s. Kawhi Leonard right now, like, it's very rare. LeBron James, obviously the most obvious one. But yeah, like, all of these players are just playing into their mid-30s and playing at an all-star, all-NBA level to where I look at a team like Washington and I'm like, why can't it be Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis, I know that there's injury concerns with him, but Anthony Davis,
he's healthy.
He's
great.
He's 31 years old right now.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
in
31
theory,
should still be like
His
your
body
prime-ish.
probably feel like 40 though, bro.
Yeah.
It should probably
like in theory, he should be able to still play at a high level. I didn't mention another one, Jimmy Butler, and most of his runs with Miami was in his post 30.
Jimmy's 37.
Yeah.
He's drafted older. Yeah, that's crazy too.
Like
He's
all
like
these
a 4-year
players are
player.
playing
Kyrie.
older, and they're playing really well.
Yeah, I hope Kawhi of going to Toronto, because I think it makes the East better. I think there's like 7 or 8 teams in tier 2 though. Like there's a lot of good teams in the East.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot of a big break.
I think tier 1 is New York. Like for me, if like we did it, I would have tier 1 New York. It's not to say they're unbeatable. I just think they're the team with the least amount of holes. Like I think their only hole is backup 5. If that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Like you're bringing everybody back, but I think
History tells you they're not going back to the finals.
history has
Who's gonna be in tier
but
2?
they've been in ECF and all that
Yeah,
shit.
but not for
I
sure.
think tier 2 though, there's just a lot of teams with a hole or two holes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
they're
But
gold.
yeah, you know, even like a team like the Wizards, like what if they pop on the scene and now they're like, they said Trae Young's gonna play off ball. Those shit lost me,
Yeah,
but
probably not
shit, yeah, lost me like hell. But for the most part, you know, yeah, I think all these
Who's
teams.
running
Dude,
the show?
they said he's gonna feed AJ and shit. I loved it. That shit moved me. Like, all right, let's get the offense the keys year
You
one.
just gave this dude $200 million.
That was
Contract
crazy.
was absurd, but I'm starting to see a vision more with AJ playing off immediately while still being able.
We're getting these. We're getting the.
Because if AJ, a lot like Tatum, if AJ can really unlock those weaknesses in this game, maybe I shouldn't even say weaknesses necessarily, but those
Nah, the
areas of
3-point shot's a
development,
weakness for
3-point
sure.
shot. Tatum was a better 3-point shooting prospect in defense, and then you're adding on top of that by year 2 and 3 the scoring gravity.
Mhm.
We could see maybe have a similar kind of trajectory in his career to Jason Tatum, where Tatum had Kyrie in years 1 and 2, and then when Kyrie leaves, you add in Kemba Walker. And for AJ, you could add that progression where he's contributing to high-level basketball. He's becoming a more complete player, and that benefits his development and the team in the long term.
You're asking a lot because AJ is closer to. Let me not say closer. I think as a prospect, they were different. Like AJ is one of the most dominant scoring prospects we've seen in
Different
since
type
Kevin
of
Durant.
player.
Yeah, whereas opposed to
More
Tatum.
team act.
Tatum was more like yes. Tatum was more like, yo, this is a do-it-all wing that can do a little bit of everything. That's why the Jaylen Brown comps come up for AJ because of the fact that you like the defensive prowess. He was not a good defender in college. He got lost a lot off ball. Hence where the Jaylen Brown stuff comes. But he has the 6'9" athleticism. He has the frame and the form to where you can see like, all right, we can see you doing it. Why can't
All
we
the
work
tools
with
are
it?
there.
And then he loves the mid range. You know, he's a rim. He puts pressure on the rim. The 3-point shot is a little spotty, but you know, as a passer, I think that was the difference. I can understand the Tatum route where through the course of the season, as a passer, he really improved. Like he started to be able to read double teams a lot better. You know, get through the pick and roll and read pick and roll defenses and stuff like that.
Is
So,
Jaylen Brown his low end outcome, or is that
you
like
asking
a
me
middle?
or like just general? Don't ask me.
I know you love AJ.
His
but,
low end is T Mac.
But okay.
No, I'm just
Bias aside, is his low end Jaylen Brown or is it someone worse?
Got to be worse. If your low end is Jaylen Brown,
That's what I'm saying. That's
yeah,
like
if your low end is
top 20 players.
his that's probably his
Middle.
maybe higher than middle, a slight below highest ceiling.
Did you see that on Twitter they were saying that Jaylen Brown's just Rudy Gay?
I
have
did see
seen
that.
Yeah, that's some
It's
nut
so
shit.
fucked up.
Some nut shit, man.
Nah, he ain't Rudy Gay. Shout out to Rudy Gay though.
Not wrong, Rudy Gay.
Rudy Gay was a really good player.
Jaylen Brown.
I think I don't know. He reminds me of like Jaylen Brown. Think of like what's the worst corner store you can name?
The worst corner store you said?
Think of like gas station Michael Jordan. Like that corner store. Like that like think of that. That's what he is. Yeah.
The Rudy Gay comp was so weird because Gay, in theory, could do a lot of things.
Come on. Calling him gay. I feel like you don't really hear him. People just call him gay. It's always Rudy Gay.
Like, or Rudy, like or RG.
When I think of Rudy, I think of Gobert.
Gay could happen in different ways.
All right.
No,
All
but
right, buddy.
Rudy Gay, he could do a lot of different things, but he left Memphis, or he was injured in Memphis, and they made the conference finals without him. He went to Toronto, and he was with DeMar and Kyle Lowry, and it wasn't until he left
Him and DeMar were redundant.
and they
as hell.
became a playoff team. I mean, the only thing that changed was Rudy Gay's presence was not there, and then Toronto became a playoff team. and
The
they
Rudy Gay
went on
numbers.
to have one of their best stretches in franchise history. That's why I think the Rudy Gay and Jaylen Brown comp is just weird because who do people think Jaylen Brown is? Like,
Wait.
Jaylen Brown ain't that, bro.
You
Wait, what do
can't
you-
say that. You can't say that.
Where are you trying to
Yeah,
get at?
you can't
At first,
say-
I thought you were saying it's crazy to think
Yeah,
that
what-
Jaylen
No,
Brown's Rudy
I'm-
Gay. Now it sounds like Jaylen Brown is Rudy Gay.
What is
No, it's crazy to
Yo.
act like Rudy Gay is comparable to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's way better.
Okay,
Oh,
thanks, for sure.
it
for
felt
sure.
like you were saying
But
the other
at
way.
the end of that, you said, "Who do you think Jaylen Brown
Yeah,
is?"
you fucked us up,
Yeah,
bro.
like they playing with his name.
Oh,
yeah,
it
who
sounded
do
like
they
you were
think he
saying
is?
like,
for sure, for sure.
Not like
Oh,
who do they
okay.
think he
Y'all
is,
are
bro.
Nine, man.
For sure, for sure.
We bugging?
No,
Yeah.
Could
John,
you
if
both
somebody
got
says,
that,
"Who do you
by the
think
way?
this guy is?" It sounded like he's saying, "Yo,
He's whack.
this nigga trash."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like you overrating him. That's why I'm like, what?
If you're listening to what he said before, I
No, I know. I understand. I understand.
Now we're here. We're here. Yeah,
I
We
agree
gotta
with you, bro.
appreciate players for what they are. And Rudy Gay was an
Decent.
empty scorer.
He's a good player.
He was good though.
It is
Good
fun. It is funny to hear him say that after he said Jaylen Brown doesn't change anything for Philly.
Boston's still better.
Boston's still better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start losing
Gotta
when you
stop acting like the bad truth.
Yeah.
when you compare to Rudy Gay, you start losing me. But he
No,
is
for
he
sure.
is a 2K
Player for
legend
player.
though. On
Yeah.
2K though, you build your franchise around him.
Yeah, no,
Where do
he's
you
that
think?
nice.
Where do you think
He's okay.
Jaylen Brown ranks all time as a forward, a wing?
Oh, what the? I don't even know, bro.
Kevin Durant, Larry Bird, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard.
So many names.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Is he
names
higher
like
than
that.
Andre Iguodala?
Yes.
Okay.
Fake jersey.
I'm just trying to get a bar
Probably.
here. Trying to get a bar here. Paul
Yeah.
Pierce or Jaylen Brown?
Paul Pierce.
He's thinking. So man, wait.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
The Andre Iguodala thing is not a
It
clearing
wasn't that
for
crazy,
Jaylen Brown.
right? I feel like
What'd you?
You could definitely
Andre
argue.
Iguodala.
You could definitely argue Andre Iguodala over Jaylen Brown.
I want to hear it.
He
What's
doesn't have the
most-
scoring,
I
but
was gonna say. I
18.
feel it's like 18. Yeah.
the
Like 18,
defense,
yeah.
the playmaking. He made an
I
All-Star
love what he
game
did in
averaging 12
2013.
points.
What he did in 2013, the Nuggets was sick. He was arguably better in Philadelphia, but Jaylen Brown's a perennial All-NBA caliber player.
I'm trying to get a
There's a lot.
healthy-
He's
I
a
think he's
level
better than
higher
Andre
than.
Iguodala.
But Iguodala, I mean, 57-win team with no All-Stars in 2013 with George Karl and that team in Denver. Like, I love Iguodala. I just don't think he's in that same category. of player.
him or Danny Granger at his best.
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen
Jaylen
Brown.
Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
It's
Jaylen.
just, I mean, you didn't see Danny Granger in the playoffs.
Grant Hill.
You didn't
Their
see
best
Grant
Michael-
Hill
Michael Grant.
potential. But
I
I'm
would
going Grant
probably
Hill.
say Paul Pierce was the better. Paul Pierce was a
Uh-huh.
better player. To me.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Jaylen Brown's having the better career in terms of
Yes. Yeah,
success.
I'm with you.
But I would say Paul Pierce is the
Okay.
better player.
I'm trying to get a healthy medium here. So it sounds
And
like
if
he's
you're
under,
ranking
like, Paul
all-time
Pierce and
forwards,
shit.
you might be really valuing.
Well,
the
where's Paul Pierce then? Because
overall
then
team.
maybe
Like
that gives you
14,
a chance.
15-ish?
So is he top 20 forward?
I don't know. Because then we got to count guys today, like
Yeah,
Paul
like
George
Tatum.
or Jaylen Brown.
Paul George at his best. It's Paul George.
Yeah.
And then Tatum. So now, like, he's,
What else are we forgetting?
Well, there's T-Mac, there's Vince Carter, Elgin Baylor.
Well, I didn't need to add
Who's
them. I
the-
felt, yeah.
Like current
T-Mac and
players.
shit. I felt
We
like
did a
T-Mac was
Keith 3
better.
Cup 5 dunking trios.
We did do that.
And Drew told me that Nate Robinson's a better dunker than Andre Iguodala.
Because he won the dunk
The dunk
contest.
contest. You know Drew
He
loves
won
a
it.
fucking dunk
I mean, he won it
contest, a
3 times
3-point
at 5'9".
contest or some
He
shit.
did dunk over Dwight Howard.
5'9". Being able to dunk in of itself is super.
I think Iggy
But I think there's a difference between
has more tricks.
you're 5'9" and you dunking is impressive versus you being just a better dunker than a guy.
I don't think outright if I told them do 10 different dunks, or if I told them to do as many different dunks as they can do, he would do more than Iggy. Like I don't
I
think
agree
so.
with you.
I'm just looking at it from an in-game perspective.
In-game, it's not
Yeah.
close.
In Andre Iguodala, he doesn't get talked about with like the best dunkers ever, but he's like a notch below. He's very
He's-
underrated
yeah,
as a
for
dunker.
sure.
In game, Nate Robinson had a better dunker than Westbrook.
No,
No.
no.
Well, yeah,
Westbrook's
it's
in like a
also harder
fucking
'cause
tier
he's-
1 damn near, bro.
4 inches shorter. Four
Fair.
inches shorter
Fair.
than almost
Fair.
all of the elite.
Yeah.
dunking
Yeah, it's
guards.
no
Fair,
knock
fair.
to Nate.
Like
Yeah.
the opportunities for him to dunk are so few and
The
far
fact that
between.
he won the dunk
That's
contest.
why it's more
Dunk-
impressive he can
go up
dunk.
against Shaquille O'Neal. Go up against Yao Ming. Like he's
No,
done
he
that
did fry
outside of the
Shaq
game.
in a dunk contest.
Yeah.
What's
Nate
Shaq,
Robinson-
what's Shaq doing?
I have no
Maybe
idea.
he's-
Yeah, just,
like,
Yeah.
just break the rim. Like
Yeah,
that's probably
asking
it.
him to dunk over them with a clear runway as they're sitting right at the
Are we
rim.
penalizing him for using the hand on the shoulder?
A little bit. But he's also like fucking 5'9",
Okay, I'm just asking,
whatever.
just seeing where the level.
Who do you think's a better dunker, Jordan or Vince?
Shit, man.
Jordan?
I'm not gonna lie. we did the Q3 Cup 5, and I argued for Jordan over Vince. And then after, I went and I watched both of their top 10 dunks of their careers.
You think Vince?
It is not close.
Vince has the best dunk of all time.
Vince
What was
Carter's
it,
a better dunker than
When
Jordan.
he
The Olympic
over
one?
He jumped over 7'3", 7'2". Yeah,
Jordan
full
did jump from
7-footer
the
in
free throw line.
Olympics, yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That
The
is
dunk that he had clearing a 7-footer, making him look like he was 6'2". I think that's the best of all time.
Yeah.
The one thing with that video, I'm not great at really evaluating dunking, but I was thinking, I'm like, Andre Iguodala, because you made a case that he was a better dunker than Zion. I was like, no way, no how.
Who?
Joel made that
Iggy?
case.
Clear as Zion.
As dunker?
Yes. You know who's a better dunker than both of them? Jason Richardson.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the best dunkers ever.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. It's because of the amount of power and the explosiveness, which
Sure.
maybe isn't.
I like Jason Richardson's tricks more.
Is
Well, no, I'm
Gerald
talking
Green a
about
better dunker than
Zion.
all
I'm
of
talking
them?
about
Oh.
Zion and Iggy.
Gerald Green.
Is Gerald Green a better dunker than all of
I
them?
feel like he's a repetitive dunker. He's like Zach LaVine to me.
Okay.
He
I
does
remember
the same
seeing his
but it's so
dunk,
cool.
the windmill head at the rim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, whew.
I like AG's better than both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Gordon? You think so?
I
got
think
a great
I think he
dunk
should have won.
contest.
I think he should have beat Zach the second time. Was it the second time? Whichever one he got robbed one. And when they gave him like a 48 and he did some shit. But I think AG's right better dunking than both.
It's hard to evaluate Duncan, but yeah, I definitely watched Jordan's top 10 dunks of his career. Just being
Underwhelmed?
honest, underwhelming.
Really? What was number
Underwhelming.
one?
What was number
Was
one?
the free throw line?
Number one was the dunk over Ewing, I believe.
Him and
Oh,
him
yeah,
and
yeah,
Oh, you talking about
Pippen
in
both got
games?
a
Yes,
piece.
in
Yeah.
games.
Nah, the shit over Ewing was
that was-
nuts though.
That's
The best
on the
in-game
short list
dunks.
of best dunks ever.
Oh, best in-game dunks. Throw Gerald Wallace in there.
Crash.
Sure was.
I love me some
Yeah,
crash.
throw Gerald. PG. We getting in-game. PG did a 360 in the
Birdman.
game. Ooh.
You know, Portland traded Gerald Wallace to the Nets, and that's how they got Dame.
Really?
Yeah.
Fire.
They traded Gerald. The Nets traded the first round pick for Gerald Wallace to have another star next to Darren Williams. And then Portland got a top pick because the Nets were bad. And then they drafted Dame with the 6th pick.
That's
So,
on
yeah.
a good track record.
The Nets not only traded away Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but they traded away Dame.
Yeah. If the Nets just never made trades in their franchises,
Then would they also have taken Dame, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown?
No.
though?
Probably not.
They definitely, because they probably would have kept number one. Probably would have taken Fultz. They probably, I mean, maybe they love Dame, but Dame was obviously he was outside the top 10,
Nah, he was
top 10.
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah, his
Dame was
workout was like
nice.
historic.
Dame was nice. He just went to a small school.
Yeah.
Weber State.
Weber.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the player I used
Fultz
in 2K a lot.
Wasn't definitively one. He was just one for Philly. Like if Boston had one, Tatum goes one.
Yeah, I feel like I thought Fultz in terms of like just general best player in the class was.
He
one.
was that, but Boston had their eyes set on Tatum.
Yeah,
Like,
you know for sure.
And then same with the Lakers. Like Lakers wanted Lonzo.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
That's what I'm saying. If
yeah.
it was the Nets,
I don't know what they do. They're dumb.
yeah. And then
Well, they were.
Jaylen Brown at 3, he got fucking booed by Boston when they took him
Yeah,
at 3.
no, he
so
did.
who knows who they take?
Cause he went to Cal. I don't know why he went. Well, obviously he's a smart guy, so he
Yeah.
wanted. But he went to Cal. That's what kind of threw him back a little bit. You guys remember Stanley Johnson?
Yeah. What's his name? The Manimal? Or was that Kenneth Fareed?
Stanimal.
That's
Kenneth
Fareed.
Fareed,
The
yeah.
Stanimal, yes.
They
That's
call
the
him
Kawhi
Stanimal?
comps
Stan
coming out
was
of
supposed to be
Arizona.
different.
I did
Honestly,
not know he was.
Fultz going one is probably like Paulo in terms of like Paulo versus Chet was close, but it was still favoring Paulo, and it was
Yeah,
for more teams, probably more than half the league. It was Fultz.
yeah. I'm
I
with
just
you
don't
for
remember
that.
who was on that fucking Nets team. Was that just? Were they just? Obviously, they had
Which
the top
team?
3 pick.
Talking about 2014.
I'm saying when they took the Celtics took Tatum.
Wasn't
They
it
must have done
Darren
shit, really.
Williams, Paul Pierce,
Oh well, when they took Tatum in
KG?
2017. It
Well, no, they
was,
didn't have them at that.
Oh,
time.
2017.
That was like
They
the
just snapped
star of
shit,
the
really.
Rondé Hulse, Jefferson,
So they could have taken anybody.
Karis,
basically.
Trevor Booker
must
was
have
there?
gone Karis LeVert, yeah.
Let's see,
So
27.
if they just had a roster full of
Probably
no
Mason Plumlee
franchise
on
guy,
that
you
squad.
probably do take Fultz.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then-
Mason Plumlee, a bunch of random veterans, and Brooke Lopez was on the trade block all those years, but he played on the team.
I'll tell you right now, 2017, right?
Brooke Lopez became the Nets all-time.
Well, I guess it would have been 2016.
Oh, Spencer Dinwiddie,
2015.
Quincy AC, Bojan Bogdanovic,
Boyan.
sorry, Jeremy Lin, Brooke Lopez,
Okay.
Yogi Ferrell.
It sounds like the roster's wide open. For every
Yeah,
fucking
Joe
one.
Harris, Rondae Hollis, Jefferson, yeah, all these
It's
guys.
2017.
Yes. 2016 had Andre Bargnani, Bojan was still there, Rondé was there, Jared Jack,
Sean
Joe Johnson,
Patrick.
Brooke Lopez, Shane Larkin, Chris McCullum, Thomas Robinson, Thaddeus Young. Who'd you say?
Sean Kilpatrick.
Dude, he is right here. Number 6.
Sean Cook.
Damn, Thaddeus Young. What a name.
Who do you guys think should be the top teams in the NBA now? The offseason is all but finished.
We know the top 3.
Knicks,
three?
OKC, Spurs.
Oh,
That's the
yes.
top three.
Definitively the top 3.
Those are the top 3.
Right now, Polymarket agrees. OKC's number 1 at 23%. Spurs are 2 at 19%. And Knicks are at 9% to win the NBA championship. Who do you think is the 4th best team in terms of odds?
Oh, this is to win a championship?
Yes.
Well, last time we did this, the odds weren't updated. They had the Celtics number 1, which was
Let's say Celtics again.
Celtics are not in the top 4.
Minnesota.
That's good.
They're not in the top 4.
Denver.
They're not in the top 4.
Lakers.
They're not in the top 4.
Well, probably the Raptors.
They're not in the
Sixers?
top 4. The Sixers are
Oh,
number 4.
well, we blanked on
Okay.
that.
And this is why I think they're getting overrated. And that's why I'm not
Well, who's 5?
all that bought in on the on the Sixers, sorry. Sixers are 4, and then number 5 is the Celtics at 5%.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the
Let's talk
Cavs are right there at
Wait,
4%.
Celtics 5%. What were the Sixers?
7%.
And the Cavs are 4. Jesus Christ.
The Cavs shouldn't be above half of those teams. I would have the Heat above them. I definitely have the
Ooh.
Pacers and the Raptors above them.
Ooh.
I would have a lot of those Eastern
You
Conference
are
teams
just
at
out
least
in
four.
this core. You're like, I've seen it.
I've
I'm
seen
good.
more than
I
enough.
respect it.
Ooh.
I think their floor is just.
They're really
save-ish.
just praying for LeBron to come back and say,
I mean, it
please
seems
take us to
like-
the
I
next
feel like
level."
Miami's
wind's
depthless.
There's a certain point for these teams that quite clearly have hit their ceiling where things start to plateau
Yeah.
and go downward, and I feel like they're on that track.
So based on the championship odds, I made a list of the 5 offseason moves that I think will have the biggest impact for this upcoming season.
Okay.
OKC, Knicks, and Spurs, they didn't really need to do much. They're already contenders.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me is Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. I just don't love the fit, and I'm going to keep harping on that. I don't love the fit here. And I think with Embiid being as unreliable as he is, it can be a disaster. Number 4 is Walker Kessler to the Lakers. I think Kessler makes more of an impact for the Lakers than Jaylen Brown does for the Sixers because the Lakers need defense, rebounding, and a lob threat. There are multiple phases in which Walker Kessler is a big upgrade for the Lakers offense and unlocks Luka Doncic as a player. And that's why he's number 4. Number 3 for me was LaMelo Ball to the Timberwolves. I feel like he can be the missing piece, and it's the perfect spot for him to rewrite the narrative on his career. He's the perfect player for Anthony Edwards. And now Anthony Edwards gets to play off ball more than ever and realize his potential there. I mean, this not only helps LaMelo, but I think it helps unlock Anthony Edwards as a player to become a much, much better version of himself. And he's already an elite player right now. Number 2 is Giannis to the Heat. Star power, defensive identity. You know they get chippy. Bam, strike Tyler Hero for a reason. You know,
We
he
didn't even talk about
gets
that.
down and dirty. But yeah,
Probably for the
Giannis,
best.
the perfect player for Miami, and if they build around him correctly, I think they can be a contender. And then number 1 is Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors. I just think that Kawhi Leonard, he just fixes what they can be in the half court, and then defensively he fits like a glove. And I think they can be a real contender in the Eastern Conference because of their depth, the young players, their identity. They feel like a team that knows how they want to play, and Kawhi just adds to it. That would be my top 5.
Why is Kawhi the Kawhi move over the Giannis move?
They have a better
The
team
Raptors
around.
have a better team.
Do they?
Yes.
I think they do.
Well, I thought this was just the
Heat are
most impactful
scraping
moves.
together.
Yes.
But you're taking into
around
account-
their 2 stars.
I'm
With,
taking
like-
into account supporting cast because how you impact the game is also relying on your supporting
This-
cast.
how good a supporting cast is Toronto as opposed to Miami's?
Well, just naming players. I mean, quickly, RJ, Scotty,
CMB.
Just asking
CMB,
questions, by the way.
Jacoby Walter.
Jakob, Jakob,
See, we can't. He's a
Walt-
negative.
Jamal Shead.
Yeah, he's a clear
They
negative.
got-
Jamal Shead, Jacoby
Yeah.
Walter.
Okay.
And then for Miami, it's really Davion, Wiggins, Bam. Pele Larson, I think, can be good
He's
this upcoming
decent.
season.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim Hardaway Jr., Bobby Portis.
The saving
And then after
grace
that, you don't know.
is that the Heat have Eric Spoelstra, and he is, to me, the best coach in the NBA still. So he can develop some of these unheralded players like he did
Shout out
in the
Ryan
Jimmy
Conlon.
Butler era. The issue was that the Heat still had cap space. They still had players they could have
Yeah.
added in. They added Kyle Lowry, it didn't work out. But they brought in PJ Tucker, and PJ Tucker was a really valuable part of that second team that went to the conference finals. With this current Miami team, you don't necessarily have that flexibility unless LeBron signs the minimum, which could happen. It might be the best fit for LeBron. I also like the idea of him playing with Eric Spoelstra. At first, he didn't want to play. He wanted Pat Riley. Now, at this stage of his career, he might love to play for Eric Spoelstra. So I'd say non-LeBron division. I just feel like Tim Hardaway Jr. is a good signing, but I liked him a lot more in Denver than really any other destination. And it's really just Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, and then a bunch of guys. Bobby Portis, Pell Larson. I don't think they fit with this current core with Giannis, though.
Why is Bobby Portis just a guy and Jamal Shead is not?
Well, they kind of need something a little bit different, I feel like. They need more perimeter talent, they need more playmaking. Yeah. And Portis, I just feel, is a redundant fit because you're not going to play him with Bam and Giannis. And with the money that he's making, $16 million a year, you want a player that you can play next to them because of the limited cap flexibility. They do have 3 to 4. I think they have 3 first-round picks they can trade, which is good. But they don't really have the contracts they can trade, which is the difference.
They got that Jovic nasty contract.
I mentioned this when we were reacting to the trade. I'll give this a B for Miami. It's a move I probably would make, but they don't have these mid-level contracts. While Wiggins is one that can allow you to make one of these trades because a lot of these guys are just going to be making not enough money to match out.
So you don't want to trade Wiggins, you know what I mean? He feels like someone you can't really move.
No, you have to keep Wiggins.
Yeah.
It's only at 2 for me because just the infrastructure with the spacing, I don't think is there for Miami. Bam Adebayo, he's going to shoot them more, but we don't know how efficient he's going to be. Then you have Davion Mitchell, who he can get hot, and coming out of college, he could shoot the ball, but he's exerting so much energy on the defensive side of the ball. You don't know if he can be a consistent shooter. And then you look at Andrew Wiggins, he can be hot and cold, but for the most part, he can be somewhat reliable. And then the 2 guard, you're relying on Pele Larson and Hardaway Jr., which they can knock it down. But we're talking about at any given time, the Heat are going to have like 3 non-shooters on the floor with Giannis. And that's where I don't like the fit.
Everything on the perimeter I feel like they need more of. Like Davion, I like Wiggins. That's not enough to me.
Yeah, I do think, I was just asking questions. I do think both teams have the same issues, but one team is slightly better. Miami, they just got to get a couple more good players. Like I don't think, honestly, I think Bobby Portis and Bam are pretty set. I think Bobby, you kind of can put Bam down low now. You can have Bobby shooting the ball a little bit more. He can shoot the mid range and he can hit a 3-ball. I'm with you though. I do need they need more talent in the guard spot. I think they're lacking in that department. Tricky, but you got Giannis. But it's all the availability stuff too with both teams because Kawhi, Giannis, not the most available over the last 3 years. I know Kawhi just had his most available season in a long time, but for the most part, both of them can crash out. And we're talking about 2 teams back to where they were last year.
I'm going to ask you for the 3rd time this offseason. Based on your comments you just said, would Tatum and Giannis be a better fit than Giannis and Bam?
No.
But you just said the fit. You went into the fit, the non-shooters, 3 non-shooters with Giannis.
Well, it's not just Bam. It's the other players.
That 3-point shooter at the 2.
It's the fact that Davion is there. It's like it's outside of Bam. I think Bam and Giannis is fine.
Boston
but it's the players outside of them. Because with Giannis and Tatum, you're gonna have Pritchard. You're gonna have Hauser out there.
Sounds like shooters.
You're gonna have more shooters.
Sounds like space.
But I'm just talking about.
You know what I mean?
I'm not talking about the fit of the Celtics. I'm talking about the fit of just the tandem. So if you build around the tandem in the best way possible.
You did get specific.
Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Shout out to Giannis, man.
But guess what? Bam and Giannis would fit better if they had 3 shooters around them you could consistently put out there.
They've won half.
Yes.
And some defense.
You know what I mean?
Don't forget that.
And Boston would have had that.
They got the defense right now. I think the defense is going to be really good. It's the offense. I don't know, man. This team is, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these moves are great, but I feel like these teams still aren't where they need to be. Like, I think Miami's a year away.
Do you feel like none of the moves that we saw happen this offseason moved the needle in terms of contention this upcoming season?
It would be rude to say that, but I'm leaning no.
Which one is the closest? Like Kawhi to the Raptors, Giannis to the Heat, LaMelo to the Wolves, Kessler to the Lakers, Brown to the Sixers.
You don't even have to say the Kessler
The
shit.
biggest one's Tyrese Halliburton come back with the Pacers. But it's not, of course, a move.
I still don't even think that's all the way there.
Is the biggest one LaMelo to the Wolves?
No, because I still think they're not a tier below, but I wouldn't put them in the top 2 with OKC and San Antonio.
Kawhi to the Raptors because they didn't have a bona fide isolation scorer, a top 5 level creator at his peak because he was a top 5 player for peaks last year. That'd be number 1.
But do you also believe that none of these moves move the needle to contending this upcoming season?
I believe that they firmly do.
I don't know.
For Toronto, possibly Miami if Giannis is healthy. If not, no. And then for Indiana, I think there's a lot of changes in the Eastern Conference.
I think, is Toronto the clear-cut second best team in the East?
No. I don't think there's any clear cut.
And that's why I'm leaning towards no, because I think when you make a move like this, when you make a move to get a Giannis, you make a move to get a Kawhi. Yeah, like you make that move to be the best team in your in the conference, or at least at that level, we've all collectively said on this show, we think Knicks are number one. We're not thinking about it too much. So, and even then, you just told me Toronto still isn't the clear-cut number 2.
But to be fair, if you don't make those moves,
no, I still think you make the move. Yeah, I still think you make the move because the point of it is to get closer to where you were. And I think, like I said, for Miami, I think they're a year away. I feel like they can still add a little bit more to this roster. Maybe they'll have a little bit more flexibility next year because I feel like what's happening, like with the Jovic guy, that's still a contract. So I feel like Miami's a year removed. I feel like Toronto still may be a year removed just because I don't love the shooting around them. But you never know. You know, you see in the East, you know, and even with Indiana, we can just assume Hallie's going to be great after the Achilles. We just can assume that this roster is going to be back to go. Zubac is going to fit well, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, it's been a year removed. The East has gotten better since Indiana was at the top of the mountain, and that was only like 2 years ago. You know, we still have to see Hallie come back from that injury. So I do still feel like that also is still a wait and see. So there's a lot of wait and sees, but I still like that doesn't change the fact that if I'm Miami, I make that deal. If I'm Toronto, I make that deal. Like that part, that doesn't change. The process doesn't change for me. I like even with Minnesota, I make that deal. Does LaMelo bring you closer to OKC and San Antonio? Still a wait and see because LaMelo struggles with defenses like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's still, and then you still have a 4 problem. You know, your bench, you still have a backup big issue unless Joel Behringer just comes on the scene and he's great. So I feel like that's still, you know, a key for me. But I still would make those moves 10 times out of 10.
No, that makes sense. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's about getting closer. In the Eastern Conference more so, you have the Knicks, but then the other side of the bracket is completely open. In the West, you know that you're going to have to see the Spurs or the OKC no matter what side of the bracket you're going to be on.
Fact.
So that's the level you got to get to. If you avoid the Knicks in the East bracket, you can talk yourself into making the conference finals. Anybody that's playing whoever. Mm-hmm. If it's Miami, we can beat anybody if it's not the Knicks. If it's the Celtics, we can beat anybody if it's not the Knicks.
I respect the Knicks. They won the championship.
Toronto, we could beat anybody if it's not the Knicks.
You have every right to feel that way. You should feel that way. And every Knicks fan deserves to feel that way. I don't feel that way. I don't think teams in the Eastern Conference are looking at the Knicks saying they're unbeatable.
Yeah, they're definitely not thinking y'all the Warriors or some shit. No.
They just went 16-3 in the playoffs.
No,
the Hawks should feel that way. Philly should feel that way. And the Cavs should feel that way. Yeah.
Sure. Valid. The teams they beat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just, the Knicks have an answer for all these moves that these teams made.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Toronto, wow, you got Kawhi, we got OG. Come on, be serious.
I'm with you.
We got to lock down
Lost
defender.
Mr. Robinson's big.
You have Tatum, we have OG and Mikal. No Jaylen Brown to alleviate that pressure no more. That's full defensive attention.
Yeah, I'm with you. What about when Miami says we have Giannis?
We have OG.
Okay.
And we have Cat down low protecting that paint.
Is Cat going to play that level defense again?
Yes.
Because
he did it this past season.
No, he did.
You should feel confident for sure. You should feel confident.
Yeah, no.
For sure.
So that's why I think the Knicks they just.
I agree with you.
It.
I think they're the best team in the East.
They have but they're also they've had years and time to build and cultivate this team. These teams are relatively new in just their cycle of just acquiring the players.
Man,
where you're right. They moved closer. They moved closer to contending. Now it's about like the Miami Heat are like a trade deadline away from being a contender. Like if they can move Larson's contract for a more productive player.
I also think the team that gives you the most issues didn't play last year.
Indiana?
Yeah, that's the team that gives you the most issues.
Well, that's the only team that as a Knicks fan, I'm kind of like worried about.
Yeah, because they give you a hell.
But they're my second best team in the East, so I'm fully expecting them to be back next year.
The silver lining is that when the Knicks played the Pacers in 24, their entire lineup was just depleted by injuries. Yeah. So it kind of is like you chalk it up to unfortunate luck for the Knicks. 2025 was Indiana's offense just has this certain layer to it that the Knicks couldn't defend, but this Pacers team does look a little bit different, maybe for the better with Ivica Zubac coming in. So it is a different matchup than what we saw previously, not only for that, but also Mike Brown as the coach.
The problem was rebounding. So Zubac solves 80% of that. He's one of the best rebounders in the game. It's just like you have to change your pace. I know his best year came when Harden was slow and methodical in that Clippers offense. They were one of the most slow-paced teams in the league. So, and Zubac was also, because he's one of the few bigs that have a post-up game. Like an actual get down low on the block. The turnaround hook shot is money every time. So it's going to be a little different feel, but he also is a good roller. So I think for me, it's just Indiana. I think they have an argument to be number 2. I just think for me, it's just how does Hallie look? Can they get back to that style 2 years ago? How much has the league changed from when they were one of the better teams and going on their run as opposed to now? Is the Zubac move really the move for them? Because they were yearning for a center that can kind of, rebound and protect the rim. And Zubac is also a really good defender. So that's just, for me, it's just like them, Toronto, all these teams, just about two questions. And I think that's why they're all like in that same tier or whatever.
In the event that Tyrese doesn't come back with the same level of burst and juice, it is a good thing for Indiana because on the downside, that means you won't have the same identity and makeup as a team. But if you have to play at a slower pace, it's better having a Vita Zubac so you can actually add this post element with him, and that would actually elevate them in that worst case scenario where we're hoping Tyrese is the same, but maybe he's not as explosive.
For me, it would be then who's the go-to guy?
Siakam.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
No slouch to Siakam.
No, but when you're just stacking him up against who's your go-to guy in the East, he's going to be the worst one of the contenders.
Probably, yeah.
And right now, the World Cup is going on, and we haven't talked about it much because we're not soccer guys, but I'm a big fan of Haaland. I love Haaland.
Okay.
I'm a big fan.
Is it true
Haaland.
he scored in every game he's played?
Damn near.
That's so crazy.
He right now he has, I believe, 52 goals in his World Cup appearances, and that is like a fraction of the games that, well, not 50 goals, sorry. Just his international play.
Oh, okay.
So not just World Cup, but his international play. He has, I think, 51 or 52 goals, and he's done it in like a fraction of the time that Messi and Ronaldo took to get 50
How old
goals.
is he, do you know?
He's 25 or 26.
Oh,
yeah.
So
Haaland scores like every game, dude. He's ridiculous.
Who would be your pick to win right now? France?
Gotta be them. Right?
France. Yeah, they have the most stacked team. They have 3 top 5 players in the world, bro.
Is that the Bellingham team or that's England?
That's
Bellingham's on
England.
different
England
club,
plays today. They played Holland, actually. Bellingham and
Bellingham
Harry
and Holland
Kane.
play together, if I'm not mistaken, right? Not in the World Cup, but like on their actual team. Pretty sure they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
in the
Jude
club
Bellingham
teams.
and-
Manchester City?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, I know that Holland plays for Manchester City, so if Bellingham plays for them, then that's true. But no, yeah. So today is Norway versus England.
And Switzerland
So
plays England?
Yeah, so England plays Norway. So it's gonna be Harry Kane and Bellingham versus Holland, which is gonna be cool. But no, France has had 3 top 5 players, bro. Lamine Yamal, who's 18, I mean, he's amazing, but this World Cup, he really hasn't cemented that he's the best player in the world. The player who cemented that has been Mbappe, honestly.
Yeah, but isn't this what Mbappe does? He
Yeah.
tweaks international and he's mid for his club.
They say that, but Mbappe has been the leading scorer in club football for like
so
the
why
past couple years.
Is he just choking like
Because they
Champions
don't
League?
win. They don't win. They don't win. But soccer's such a team sport, bro, that I feel like
He's
a lot of that is narrative.
PSG?
He was on PSG, and then now he's on Real Madrid, I believe.
Oh, so they don't win La Liga or Champions League.
Yeah, so basically he left PSG, and then they won like back to back without him.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. I'm in FIFA right now.
Here we go.
And I've made like 9 players because I'm in America because the players are so terrible. So I've made them like 90 overalls. So this is my team. We're nice. I am New York Rapid Fire.
Okay.
Wait, no, New York City something.
So you play New York City FC?
Yes.
Okay, so
I
you
am
play,
there.
you
So
play
I'm in
MLS.
MLS. I'm like 17 and 1.
Yeah, MLS is ass.
That's what I'm saying. So will I ever get an opportunity to go to England? Like, will they ask me?
No.
I can never go.
It's a different league.
So
Yeah.
I can never. So I might as well nuke this shit right now.
The only thing you'd be able to do probably is be in the Champions League, and even then, I don't know how that works.
Off
You tell me
topic.
I have to nuke this shit. It's pretty much over.
Maybe you search up. Maybe you could play other.
I thought they
top clubs
invite you. Like, I thought they kick teams out and they invite you. Like, would they invite me?
within teams in like their league in the relegation zone. Because, for example, like if it's an England league, all the teams play in England because it's an England league. So the Premier League is England, La Liga is in Spain.
I'm nuking this shit.
So you're only gonna be like you're playing MLS, so you will only be in the American League.
Yeah, no comp in there. It's dog shit.
Yeah,
Can you play in Champions League or is that just Europe?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you'd be able to play in
I
Champions
mean,
League.
if I could just play in Champions
I mean,
League,
MLS teams have just always been so ass compared to comp that they would never be in the Champions League.
How do you? But don't you have to win your? I don't even know how you get in Champions League. You have to finish a certain place to get into the Champions League, and regardless of, you know what I mean? Like if you're a bad whatever 2 seed,
you have to finish at the top of your league. And
certain leagues.
I saw a video on it, like just explaining soccer and the leagues and how it works. And in the Premier League, they don't have a Premier League championship or title. So basically, the team that finishes
In
number
first
one
place.
is
Yeah.
whoever
That's
finishes
ass.
number one in
Yeah,
first
yeah,
place.
yeah.
They're the winner of that league.
I don't want to do
So
that.
you don't have to like. It's not
It's
a
not a
bracket. It's not
finals
a
or
playoff
nothing.
So
bracket.
which one has that so I can go in FIFA and be that team? Like,
Premier League.
Premier. No,
League.
it has to have the Champions League and all that.
Well, you'd be able to
Yeah.
play in the Champions League if you're a Premier League team that finishes number one.
So no, I want the whole tournament thing with getting to the number one.
That's
You know
only
what I'm saying?
Champions League.
That's only Champions League.
Yeah.
Premier has that,
Yeah.
Premier League, you can be a team that makes the Champions League.
but they don't have their own Champions League.
Correct.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. The
okay.
Champions League is
Champions League, and then you have La Liga, Premier League, whatever the
Champions
fucking
League, so think about it
Bundesliga,
like
and they're
this.
all part of the Champions
think
League.
about if the NBA. Well, think about if basketball
Mhm.
had leagues outside the NBA that were top talent.
Okay.
So, for example, LeBron didn't play the NBA. Kawhi did. Jokic did. But LeBron played in a France league.
Okay.
And that league is honestly just as talented as the NBA.
Okay.
Right? And now let's say that there's another league in Spain that is also has a lot of talent basketball
So they
wise.
send their guys.
So yeah, so whoever wins from the American, France, and Spain league, they all go to the Champions League,
Mhm.
and then it's the best teams from all different clubs around the world.
Okay.
They play in this playoff bracket style
Okay.
Champions League, and that's how they find out who the best club is
So
in the world.
my question is, 'cause I want to make sure I get this right if I go home and start editing and shit, because I need to be in it. So you said Premier League is the number one team, they go to champions.
Yeah, the Premier League is the Premier League is the NBA of soccer.
Okay.
Yeah.
La
Yes.
Liga, do they have a tournament for who can go to the Champions League?
La Liga, they have their league,
Mhm.
Okay.
and if you,
You
win
all
the league,
qualify
you
the
can
same,
win.
right? In terms of how do you get to Champions League?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
it
not sure how you. I know that you got to finish at the top of
Exactly.
an
Yeah.
amazing
Okay,
To
league.
qualify, it's basically just where you finish in the standings.
Cool.
Because
Okay,
if I'm not
okay.
mistaken, there are multiple teams sometimes in the Premier
Yeah.
League that make it to the Champions
Yeah.
League.
So what's
Yeah, yeah.
after Champions League? Is it the World Cup or?
the
Well, that's
world,
separate.
so that's separate. So
Okay.
World Cup is international play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's just you represent your country. That's it.
So
World
like
Cup.
Champions League is the only thing of the year that's like your playoffs.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Champions League. Yeah, that's how I view it.
Okay.
That's how I view it.
We didn't talk about it. We have a new setup.
Yeah, we do.
just realized because we were talking about it before the show started, and then we started the show and we talked about it just not on camera. But
I
we're back.
mentioned it briefly, but nobody responded to me.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did
didn't
earlier.
hear you.
Yeah, I did.
I probably was,
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
We were like in the midst of like another conversation. But yeah, no, like I fuck with soccer, bro. I want to get into it. I've been trying to find other sports to get into, whether it's been baseball or hockey or soccer. Like,
Bad year to be a Mets fan.
yeah, nah.
It took
I'm
me.
trying to really get fully into baseball. The Pirates are
It took me
so
forever
good,
to make
so
those 11
good.
players, bro.
I believe it, bro.
I'm more enamored with soccer because I just think it's unbelievable how they can dribble with their feet, dude.
Mhm.
Like the control that takes, it's just crazy.
I love kind of listening to shout out to our guy Ryan Hammer. I love listening
Shout
to
out to Ryan
breakdowns
Hammer.
of the World Cup because for me, I have never watched soccer. Play a little bit of FIFA, and that doesn't even really qualify. It's good to kind of get that perspective because it simplifies it. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
but yeah, before you do that to your league though in
Mhm.
in FC, because they don't call it FIFA anymore, they call it FC. But
I'm towards the end, so like I'm like
before you do that, I'd search up, can an MLS team get into the Champions League?
okay, because I'm
That's what I
at the
said.
season's almost over. I'm in August. I'm dominating. I just won a U.S. World Cup. I've won some tournaments, and I got asked to be
Norway's up 1-0 in England.
fire.
Wow.
I got asked to be the South Africa coach for
Okay.
because they didn't ask me to be America. That pissed me off because all my players are on there. So
South Africa.
I'm playing with
coach.
with all due respect, South Africa. It's a bunch of fucking 60 overalls and 70 overalls and that shit. So we lost our first 3 games. But I'm trying. I don't want to be, bro. It's just messy, and like he's carrying Miami, but every other team is fucking shit.
Nah, yeah, that's a retirement league. Old stars go there. But
Yeah, some
Messi's
dude on my
still nice,
team.
though.
He's old as hell, and he played overseas. And I'm like, bro, I need him on my team. I cut him.
But I would go with France right now to win the World Cup because they got Mbappe, who he's been the best player in the world. Then they have Dembele, who this past season won the Ballon d'Or, and that's the MVP of soccer. He's on France.
I'm about to
And then
look
they
at him
have
right
Michael Olise, who's a top 5 player in the world. Like, bro, they have 3 top 5 players. It's hard to not win when you have that much talent. But it's also because like some people's questions with France has been like their midfield is kind of weak and stuff, but they got a lot of talent, bro. Like at the end of the day, this World Cup has been about stars taking over.
Mm.
Been about stars, man.
Okay, so I can't get into the European UEFA Champions League, but I can get into the North American teams participate and the CONCACAF Champions Cup instead.
Yeah, but that it's gonna be all whack teams probably.
Yeah.
It's all North America. Who's good in North America?
Buddy, bro.
Yeah, like soccer has a much different layout. Like they have this Copa de America, which is I think South American teams only.
Okay.
So South American teams go to try to win that.
Fuck.
So they have like different titles for different regions.
I'm gonna just dominate for like 3 years and then move off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just move off.
But what if you just take a job in like some other country?
That's what I do. I'm gonna dominate here, win
Yeah.
my North American Cup, the MLS, and then I'm gonna win 2 of them back to back, and I'm gonna be like, I'm done with this shit.
Would you pay Gary Trent $64 million? The
What?
Bucks just did.
Who?
The Bucks.
Who?
That was
Get-
reported
who's the
that they were
player?
gonna pay
Gary
him a
Trent,
shit
64
ton.
mil.
How many years?
4.
It should be 12.
It should probably be 12, yeah. That was widely reported that they were going to give Gary Trent an offer that would shock the NBA.
They shocked me. I mean, whatever. I hope Braden starts, bro. Braden and Ryan Rollins. That's my backcourt.
I mean, they need to spend the cap somewhere.
do they have
Jeez.
money?
They should. I would assume they haven't.
Well, no, they still have Kuz, Miles Turner.
Well, it's not nearly. I don't even know if they're at the
They have Carroll's
Let's see,
contract.
they're
now.
at
Karis
165.
LeVert, right?
They
Yeah.
have Dame's money that they stretched.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're not even remotely close. No, this year they are. Next year they are. So the salary cap 165 million. They're barely above that
Okay.
at 168.
So they
and
have-
then you're now baking in the new
64,
contract
yeah.
extension for next year.
So they'll be like 20
Next
over.
year they're at 86 million. A lot of free agents like
Yes, yes,
Tyler
yes.
Hero, Kuzma, Karis LeVert. Didn't realize Karis LeVert was on the
Okay, so
payroll.
basically, the UEFA Champions League features 81 participating clubs
Jesus.
across various stages, with 36 teams advancing to the primary league phase.
Okay.
Notable teams that automatically qualify for or participate in the
Mhm.
main tournament stages include England, the Premier League, which
Okay.
is Arsenal, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United. Spain, that's La Liga. La Liga's in
Messi
Spain.
and them, right?
Yeah, that's Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Betis, Real Madrid, Villarreal. On Italy League with Inter Milan and other teams. Germany, Bundesliga, and then France, Ligue 1, which is where PSG is. PSG's won it the last couple of years.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's what the Champions League is. I want to get into Premier League, though. If I get into soccer, I'll probably pick a team. But, bro, it's very unbalanced who wins the championships. Like, in the last 6 years, there's only been 2 teams to win championships in finish number 1 in Premier League.
Mhm.
It's Manchester City's, like, dominating, dude.
Yeah, they
That-
pay. They're the teams that spend up.
Yeah, they've dominated. So that's the thing with, like, that league is that, I mean, if you're not rooting for the top teams,
That's why
you're probably not winning.
Leicester City, or however many years ago it was when they won that, they were like the fucking biggest underdogs in all of sports to win it. They were like, because I think they had just gotten promoted, right? I think they were in like the second league in England or whatever. So the fact they won that year was some nut shit. I don't even know what to compare it to, honestly. It'd be like if the fucking the Jazz won this championship next year. Like, I don't even know, bro. Like,
Washington or
No,
some
that's
shit.
insane. But that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.